The main character was considered a loser and abandoned by his entire clan, but during the 100-meter dash test, he broke the 6-second record in just a few seconds, which stunned the students and teachers. They were in deep shock, but after he went to the restroom, he was looked down on again. The one known as the boxing genius challenged him. As a result, the main character casually threw a single friendly-looking punch, and it left the guy unable to fight. This left the main character a bit disappointed since he hadn't even warmed up yet. This power also caught the attention of a ruthless girl from a billionaire family. She was willing to use her entire corporation just to beg the main character to save her mother's life. It turns out the main character had become the strongest cultivator on the fallen moon continent by the age of 55. But after he defeated the Demon King and saved the entire continent, he was backstabbed by a few of his so-called comrades. He couldn't accept dying just like that. As soon as he woke up, he realized someone was calling his name. Yemo! Yemo, wake up! Seeing the main character wake up, the teacher immediately asked with concern, "Student Yemo, how are you feeling?" Leaning against the wall, Yemo was a bit confused. "Didn't I die already? And who are all these people? Where am I? Don't tell me this is hell." But just then, a not-so-friendly voice rang out. "The great young master of the Ye family is so high and mighty. When it's your turn for the test, you just faint." A guy with long hair also chimed in mockingly. What great young master of the Ye family is he now? He's already been kicked out of the Ye family. Moreover, he wasn't the only one trampling on the main character. A blonde girl also started speaking up. "All right, Brother Lon, let's just get on with the test. Don't waste time on this loser. Let's see if we can break the 6-second record this time," Linbei scoffed. Of course. The teacher thought their words were too harsh. All right, everyone, continue with the test. But what they didn't know was that, at that moment, a flood of memories rushed into the main character's head. It turned out this place wasn't the fallen moon continent, and he had transmigrated into the body of the Ye family's young master. The Ye family was a major clan, but because the main character's meridians were blocked, his body was as weak as a loser's. On top of that, his parents were gone, leaving him with no power or influence, so he was kicked out by his own clan members. Although it was hard to believe he had unexpectedly been reborn in another world. According to his memories, this world had not yet grasped the methods of cultivation. In people's daily lives, there was always a special energy floating around. People called it spirit energy. This energy couldn't normally be absorbed or used. But the people of the fallen moon continent had discovered a way to sense and draw in the spirit energy from the air. Luckily, Yemo could still feel its presence. It was just very thin. Being from the fallen moon continent, he naturally knew how to absorb spirit energy. He just had to form a hand seal. To let this energy store in his body, he could cultivate and strengthen himself. This is a cultivator. Just a second later, his body radiated a blue flame-like energy. This was the energy of the first level of cultivation. It also conveniently unblocked his clogged meridians. Moreover, in just a blink of an eye, he seemed to have grown quite a bit taller. As long as he returned to the 10th level of cultivation, he could forcibly return to the fallen moon continent. When that time comes, he will settle the score with each and every traitor. He then let out a sigh. Right now his strength was only at the first level. It seemed he would have to start all over again. Looking at the students who were taking the test, he felt he should go and test the changes in this body. Let's see what kind of talent this body has. When the teacher saw the main character approaching, she was also very surprised. The long-haired guy who was always mocking him said, "Why are you here? All better now." Yemo couldn't care less about these guys. Isn't today the 100-meter dash test? I want to take the test too. But they just laughed mockingly. You! The next one up is Linbei. A chubby guy didn't forget to add his own taunt. That's right, he's the one who holds the 6-second record. Linbei felt they were making a lot of sense. A loser like him had no face left to lose anyway. That's true. Haha. It seemed these guys bullied the original owner a lot. Yemo treated their words like dogs barking. Even though he was only at the first level of cultivation, a cultivator's physical constitution is far superior to an ordinary person's. All right, but it's just the two of you. No one else wants to run with Linbei. Then the teacher shouted, "Ready!" as she counted to 3. Linbei bent down, stretching his leg. At that moment, he had only one thought in his mind: to humiliate Yemo even more. After the starting pistol fired, Linbei shot forward like a bullet while Yemo was still standing in place. He had started counting. The long-haired guy sneered, "Look, he hasn't even reacted yet." Who knew that Yemo had his own plan? He was going to give that Lin Bei guy a 3-second head start. Then Yemo's first-level cultivation power erupted and his entire body was enveloped in energy. In just 1 second, the long-haired guy's jaw dropped. The teacher also covered her mouth in disbelief. But ever since the strongest cultivator from the fallen moon continent appeared, his performance has been turning their whole world upside down. He surpassed the limits of the human body. As soon as he passed Lin Bei and reached the finish line, he stopped. He then started counting again. The teacher and the other students were in deep shock. Seeing the main character stand still, Lin Bei in his eyes was like a human standing before an ape. The gap between them was as vast as the sky and the earth. When he finished counting to 3, he grabbed the finish line tape. So he gave Lin Bei a 6-second head start. The teacher stared at the stopwatch in amazement. Yemo's time was 9.98 seconds. If you subtract the 3-second handicap, it comes down to 3.98 seconds. Lin Bei collapsed to the ground in front of our hero, muttering over and over, "Impossible." Yemo felt that this body's natural talent wasn't bad, but compared to his previous body, it was still far inferior. However, this was just the beginning. He would return to his absolute peak. Lin Bei was just an insignificant ant among many. In the bathroom, Yemo looked at his reflection in the mirror. To quickly return to the 11th level of cultivation, he would need the help of some medicinal ingredients. But the cost of these ingredients was far too expensive. Linji Du was 20,000 per portion, and Bailian Qing Kong wood was 40,000 per gram. The money the body's original owner had left him was nowhere near enough. Yemo held his phone, lost in thought. Although he could make money by creating talismans, he only had 50 RMB left in his wallet, which wasn't even enough to buy low-grade materials. Therefore, to get his revenge quickly, he had to find a way to make money by cultivation materials and become stronger. As he was lost in thought, he ran into Lin Bei and his cronies who were looking for trouble. "So this is where you were hiding, you little brat. You made me look all over for you. You really pissed me off today, so I'll be collecting this month's protection money early." The one speaking was Lin Bei, the captain of the track and field club. The guy next to him was Wang Bei, the captain of the boxing club. At that moment, a few memories surfaced in our hero's mind. It turned out the original owner had always been bullied by these guys. They collected protection money from him every single month. In fact, he had just paid them last week. Lin Bei looked over at Wang Bei. "Brother Wang, I'm counting on you. This kid's acting a little strange today. He's just a good-for-nothing. And I'm the boxing champion." With that, he threw a punch at our hero. The body's original owner might have endured it, but he wouldn't. Our hero was seen simply dodging his punch. Too slow, and then Wang Bei's chin slammed right into our hero's fist. He was knocked out cold and sent flying. In the eyes of a cultivator like Yemo, ordinary people were no different from children. After taking care of Wang Bei, our hero kicked the long-haired guy. The guy didn't even have a chance to react. Seeing this, Lin Bei was completely shocked. "Is this guy really Yemo?" Yemo glared at them, his killing intent overflowing. "What's the matter, you scared?" Lin Bei and the other guy felt utterly humiliated and rushed at our hero, throwing punches. However, he caught both of their fists. After that, they couldn't move an inch. Then both of them yelped like dogs. "You bastard, let go of me!" Yemo just chuckled. "Don't be in such a rush. We're going to take our time with this." Hearing that, the two of them were scared out of their wits. "We were wrong. Please, we're begging you." Our hero threw them both to the ground. At this point, Lin Bei was trembling from head to toe. "Brother Ye! No, young master Ye! Please let us go." Wang Bei shakily tried to get back on his feet. He clenched his fists and gritted his teeth. "No one has ever dared to make me lose face like this. Damn it! How could I possibly let you get away with this?" Wang Bei threw another punch at our hero, but in an instant he took a heavy blow from Yemo, immediately started bleeding, and was sent flying into the wall. Yemo said grimly, "If there's a next time, it won't be this easy on you." By now, Lin Bei was completely terrified. "Monster! He's a monster! Don't come near me!" "I'm sorry we were wrong." Yemo's eyes were ice cold. "Now give me back what's mine." Hearing this, Lin Bei stood there dumbfounded. Give you what?" Yemo became slightly annoyed, his eyes looking as if he would tear them to shreds in the next second. Lin Bei's eyes went wide with fear. "Yes, right away." Then he respectfully presented the wallet. "It's all in here." But after he left, Our hero felt he might have been a bit too rough, but he was sure they wouldn't dare say a word about it. The students outside the bathroom were all stunned. The moment Ye-mo walked away, a voice called out, "Quick, get Brother Wang to the infirmary." Ye-mo felt he couldn't stay at this school any longer. There were too many prying eyes. He had to find an opportunity to move out. Fortunately, he now had some seed money. It wasn't much, but it was enough to buy some materials to craft simple talismans. The first step of his revenge could now begin. Talismans are one of the most common tools for low-level cultivators. By infusing spiritual energy into certain materials, one can create miraculous effects even for a first-level cultivator like himself. They could be crafted with ease. Very quickly, our hero had created 5 types of talismans. All he had to do was sell this batch. He could then earn a good amount of money, find a suitable place to cultivate, and buy more ingredients to aid his practice. But soon, 3 weeks had passed. He still hadn't been able to sell a single one. People here seemed to be very skeptical about talismans, thinking Ye-mo was some kind of nutcase. Suddenly, a cry rang out. Ye-mo was startled. The sound came from a yellow dog. He saw that it was covered in wounds. A second later, it collapsed right in front of him. This is bad. It looked like it was on the verge of death. It seemed to have been hit by a car. Ye-mo felt that this meeting was fated. "All right then, I'll use one on you." Just as our hero was about to test the power of his talismans, this green charm was a healing talisman capable of restoring function to necrotic tissue and healing the body. With a flash of blue light, Goldie's eyes shot open. It looked completely healed and even barked a few times at our hero as if to thank him for saving it. Ye-mo crouched down and petted its head, but a second later, Goldie bared its fangs and bristled in a certain direction. "It's just a dog, though. Why are you so obsessed with finding some mud? If it dies, it dies." Hearing this, the girl got angry. "Wang Bang, do you have a conscience? You're the one who hit this dog." Then she pushed the guy away. "I didn't ask you to follow me. I have to get this dog to a vet." But just a second later, both of them were in utter shock. "Isn't that the dog we hit? How is it perfectly fine?" The girl quickly walked over to Ye-mo. How did you do that?" But Wang Bang's tone wasn't so friendly. "Hey kid, where did you crawl out from?" The girl looked at Goldie in our hero's arms. "I remember it was hit. It was covered in blood and looked like it was about to die." Just then, Ye-mo also noticed the bag in the girl's hand. On it were the words Nin Hai Hospital. He guessed she was worried about a sick family member. Isn't this the perfect opportunity? He then took out a talisman in front of her. "Use this." The girl thought it was a protective charm, but Wang Bang immediately stepped in front of her. "You're a con artist. Don't you dare try to scam me. Wenwen, don't believe this scammer. For all we know, he probably threw that dog onto the road just to stage this whole thing." But the girl ignored Wang Bang's words. "Excuse me, can your talisman save someone in a vegetative state?" Afraid that Ye-mo didn't understand, she repeated herself. Seeing how worried she looked, Ye-mo assumed she wanted to treat a family member. In fact, a person in a vegetative state has a damaged spirit. Spiritual energy can be used to repair the spirit and body. It's perfectly logical. This is a spirit talisman, and it's 100% effective for people in a vegetative state. Hearing this, Wang Bang went ballistic. "Are all con artists this arrogant these days? What kind of illness can that possibly cure when you've completely lost your mind?" Ye-mo directly pushed Wang Bang aside. "It's very simple to use. Just toss it towards the person. The price is 20,000 for one talisman. The small ones are 10,000. The girl immediately wrote a check. "I'll take 50,000's worth. Please give me all of these talismans." Wang Bang was not happy at all. When you're insane. Get lost, you damn con artist." But a second later, Ye-mo had grabbed his hand tightly. Wang Bang let out a painful scream. "Woof, woof, I'm conducting business. She's saving her family." Wang Bang felt like his wrist was about to snap, but Ye-mo's entire spiritual aura flared up. "You're the one who should get lost." He then threw him aside. Ye-mo gave the talismans to her and took the money. Then he reminded her about the other two. "The yellow one is a protective talisman, and the red one is a fireball talisman. I hope you never have a reason to use either of these." The girl thanked him, her eyes lighting up. "Oh, right. I still don't know your name." "Ye-mo." Just like that, Ye-mo raised a hand and coolly walked away. At that moment, Wang Bang started nagging again. Wenwen, you can tell that guy's a con artist just by looking at him." Of course, she knew this was absurd. The chances of this working were slim to none. "But the person in the hospital is my mother. What if What if it works? Meanwhile, Yemo was walking down the street. Now that I've got the money, I can find a quiet corner and look for some medicinal herbs to help with my cultivation. Just then, Goldie started barking wildly. Yemo turned to look. Well now, life is full of surprises. That's spiritual energy. Looks like Goldie is my lucky star. Then our hero was shocked again. That thing in the garden, is that silverheart grass? Meanwhile, Wang Bang sat in a hospital room as a nurse disinfected his wound. The wound on his hand. He groaned in pain. Wang Bang was furious. That kid is definitely up to no good. He better hope I don't see him again. Jianzhong, who was standing outside, heard everything. Jingwen, Wang Bang came here with good intentions to keep you and your mother company. How could you embarrass him like that? This reflects very poorly on our family. He looked at Jingwen sternly. And to get mixed up with some street-hustling con artist. Do you have any idea how people are laughing at you? In the distance, a few nurses were whispering. I heard she spent tens of thousands downstairs on a talisman. The councilman's daughter isn't too bright, is she? The rich are so easy to fool. Jingwen looked crestfallen. I just want to try one more time. She stared at the talisman in her hand, feeling embarrassed. This could be the last chance I have to try. Jianzhong was livid. How many times has this been, have you completely lost your mind? And this time you're even getting mixed up in this kind of stuff. What's next? Are you going to start dancing to summon gods? Jingwen turned back, clenching her fists. Then what about you, Dad? What have you done? When Mom was in a coma? How many times did you even come to visit her that year? It's obvious that if she'd been taken to the best hospital a little sooner, Mom could have recovered much faster. Did you even do your best? Hearing that he was stunned, Jingwen turned her face away, frustrated. You're just waiting for me to sign these papers so you can live a carefree life with your mistress under the guise of a widower, aren't you? Qian Trung was enraged. He raised his hand high. Do you even understand? Before he could finish, he froze. He looked at his own raised hand, then he sighed and lowered it. He turned his back and walked away. The older you get, the harder you are to control. I'm going to find a nurse and have them forcibly remove the tube. Crying, Tin Vun took her mother's hand. I will not allow it. Tin Vun clutched her mother's hand tightly. The talisman in her hand was pressed against her mother's. No matter what, I will never give up on you, Mom. Suddenly, the talisman emitted a blinding green light. A gentle voice Chudung's called out, Van Van. She reached out and stroked Tin Vun's head. Everything happened so fast, she couldn't even react. Hearing her voice, Qian Trung was stunned. He immediately whipped his head around. What? Chudung lay weakly on the hospital bed, a gentle smile on her face. Van Van, you're so thin. Mom. Qian Trung frantically ran outside. Nurse, nurse! Tin Vun stared at her mother as Qian Trung, overjoyed. Tears streamed down his face. Where are the nurses? Hurry, come and see. My wife is awake. The doctor and nurses were all dumbfounded. What? They rushed into the room. We will take your wife for a comprehensive examination immediately. The doctor held a chart in his hand. Even though your wife has woken up, she has been bedridden for many years, so for a year and a half, she definitely won't be able to get out of bed. Tin Vun looked at the talisman, which now only held a faint light. That's it? It had to be the effect of the talisman. That's what it was, its power. The talisman slowly faded away in her hand. Everyone who saw it was completely shocked, their mouths hanging open. No way. Qian Trung was stunned. This is simply a miracle. I can't believe it. The doctor turned to the nurse. Quick, call Nobel laureate Professor Lum. Meanwhile, Wang Bang rubbed his eyes again and again. No, this can't be real. He was frozen in place. That person, could he actually be an immortal? Chudung sat up. Van Van, you've had it rough these past few days. Tin Vun threw her arms around her, overcome with emotion. Mom, you're finally awake. She happily wiped away her tears, glanced at her hand where the talisman had been, and thought to herself, so gods really do exist in this world. If I could just meet him one more time, I would give anything to repay him. Meanwhile, Deep Mac and his puppy were carrying a suitcase into the house. Deep Mac quickly went up to his bedroom. Well, I guess I've moved out now. He thought, this is the first step in my plan to return to the Luoyue continent. All those traitors. I won't spare a single one of you. Deep Mac looked at his hands. If I want to return, I must reach the 11th level of chi cultivation again. For that, I need a spirit well and spirit materials. His face filled with killing intent. You scum from Luo Yue! The day I return from the abyss won't be far off. Deep Mac lay on his bed, raising his hand to the ceiling. During this time, I've discovered something. The spiritual energy in this world is vanishing. At this rate, cultivation will be impossible. If I want to solve this problem, I'll have to find a place or an object that contains spiritual energy. The most suitable candidates are a spirit well or spirit materials. To think that silver heart grass, a type of spirit material, was growing right at the academy. Spirit materials are different from ordinary medicinal herbs. They can be refined into elixirs to help a cultivator advance their level. Now all I have to do is wait for the silver heart grass to mature and seed. Then I can refine it into a chi-gathering pill to advance to the second level of cultivation. Deep Mac held the pot of silver heart grass. But the process of alchemy is too conspicuous and could attract unwanted attention. You never know what unexpected problems might arise. So I must start cultivating right away. Later in a bustling part of the city. The air was lively with streams of people coming and going. Deep Mac sat at a roadside stall, resting his chin in his hand as he thought. The supplementary herbs for the chi-gathering pill are too expensive. I'm still short on cash. It looks like just setting up a stall isn't going to be enough, even though I have to do my best to be discreet about selling. The talismans, it seems I've still stirred up some trouble. Sensing something unusual, he glanced sideways. Those guys are here again. They always keep their cool. And always keep their distance from me. They started showing up on the third day I opened my stall. This is a planned, organized operation. Today they've brought the most people yet. So they've finally decided to make their move, have they? Deep Mac packed up his things and put them in his bag. If that's how it is, then let's see who's so interested in me. Suddenly, Vung Din called out his name. Deep Mac, I haven't seen you at school for days, and now you're running a stall here, Deep Mac thought to himself. This guy... She was a bit worried. He's not only physically weak, but he's also been kicked out by the Ye family. He probably doesn't have a single cent to his name. But I never thought he'd give up on his studies, too. Deep Mac thought silently. Now I remember. She's a classmate. One of the few people who dared to speak up for this body's original owner. Vung Din fumbled through her purse. Here, let me lend you some money for now. You have to at least stay in school. Deep Mac turned to leave. I'm sorry I'm busy today. Let's talk later. Annoyed, Vung Din frowned and thought, something's wrong. Could he have gotten into some kind of trouble? Yemo slowly walked into an alley. He thought to himself, based on my senses, there are 7 of them on the left and 3 on the right. His eyes narrowed. In that case, I'll just take care of all of them. Yemo quickly turned around and ran. The guys tailing him revealed themselves surprised. He's trying to run, get him! They chased Yemo deep into the alley. He ran until he hit a dead end and stopped. Wu Bei had caught up by then. He's got nowhere to run now. Zhou Feng's group blocked his path. He sneered menacingly. Hand over your stuff, kid. Ye Mo smirked. You guys have been watching me for days. What is it you really want? Who sent you? The man's eyes sharpened. You've pissed off a major financial clan. Did you really think you could get away with selling your wares here? Blame your own bad luck. Even I don't get why the young lady of the Ning family would take a liking to a useless piece of trash like you. Wu Bei snickered. But this kid, you'll have to wait for your next life to enjoy that good fortune. Ye Mo thought to himself, the young lady of the Ning family, Ning Qing Shui. According to my old memories, we were engaged. However, because I was physically weak and got kicked out of the Yi family, and the engagement should have been called off. Could it be that this major clan is the Ning family? Just because of that, the Ning family would try to take my life. That doesn't seem right. Someone else must be behind this. I'll have to beat it out of these guys to find out. Wang Ying watched in terror as the armed men surrounded her friend. These gangsters. They want to kill Ye Mo. How did he get involved with people like this? Ye Mo is already so weak he can't even win against a normal person. And these guys are armed. She picked up her phone. I have to call the police now. Suddenly a large figure appeared behind Wang Ying. Oh, look what we have here, a little stray cat. Li Qiang grinned sinisterly, grabbing the hand she was holding her phone with. Trying to make a call. Zhou Feng's group was drawn by her voice. Let me go! They turned to look. It's the boss. The boss is here. Li Qiang gripped Wang Ying's hair tightly. Ye Mo tensed up. Wang Ying, what is she doing here? Li Qiang looked at her. You're quite the ladies' man, aren't you, kid? The great beauty from the Ning family wasn't enough. Now you've got another young girl chasing after you, Wang Ying cried out loudly. Yamo run, they have knives. She looked at him in terror. You can't touch me. After all, I'm from the Wang family of the capital. Hearing this, he burst out laughing. The Wang family, ha ha! Li Qiang glared at her with sharp eyes. If I take care of you two out here, who's going to know? He pulled out a knife. Seeing this, Wang Ying trembled even more. No, I... He licked his lips and swung the knife hard at her. Be more careful in your next life. Yemo lunged forward like a blur. He struck the man's wrist hard, forcing Li Qiang to drop the knife out of reflex. Yemo quickly drew his hand back to gather momentum. Although this move drew a lot of attention, he thrust his hand forward, grabbing Li Qiang's entire face in his palm. The man was stunned by this swift action. What? Yemo slammed his body hard against the wall, sending up a cloud of dust and sand. But surrendering without a fight has never been my style. As the dust settled, what was revealed was Li Qiang unconscious. The wall was cracked into pieces, and fresh blood spurted out. Wang Ying was stunned. Is this still Yemo? Zhou Feng's group was also dumbfounded. They couldn't believe their eyes, stammering, This guy... Yemo's face was grim. I'm only going to say this once. Who directed you to do this? Meanwhile, in the city, Shui Tao was driving when he got a report. Brother Yang Scarface's crew is on the move. He was surprised. Today? Where did they go? What are they doing? The person on the other end reported. They went to the area behind West Road District. There are about 30 of them, and it looks like they're confronting a young man. They're also holding a female hostage. Shui Tao swerved the car sharply. Would inform headquarters immediately and dispatch more men. Don't notify Wang Lei just yet. And you, kid, don't you dare rush in there, you hear me? These are drug traffickers. They've killed people before. He frowned, anxious. Hello, are you there? Talk to me. A trembling voice came over the radio. Captain, I don't think we need to send anyone. Luo Wan at the scene was sweating bullets. That young man, he's already taken them all down. Before them all, the thugs were sprawled out on the ground in the alley. Yemo held Zhou Feng by the head with one hand. The man stammered, Are you really that useless piece of trash from the Ye family? Scarface never should have taken this job. His eyes were filled with danger. Where did you get your information on me, the Ning family or the Yi family? You have 3 seconds to get your words straight. The man was trembling so much in fear he couldn't speak. Wait for me. Shui Tao ran over from a distance, shouting to stop him. Stop, kid! Don't do it! If you go any further, the nature of this incident will change. Yemo glanced over, thinking to himself, The police! What timing? He hesitated for a moment. Should I just finish this? After all, these guys have already seen what I can do. In the end, he compromised and let go. I know. Zhou Feng let out a sigh of grateful relief. I'm saved! Because Yemo secretly knew his current strength wasn't enough to go against state authorities. Shui Tao was relieved. Glad I made it in time. Otherwise, I really can't believe that this one person could do all this. The image of him standing among the collapsed bodies on the ground flashed through my mind. For one person to take down so many drug traffickers like this, it was truly unbelievable. Hello there, kid. My name is Dung Sun Tweet from the Ninhai City Inspection Office. Vung Din peeked out from behind him and greeted back, Hello. He then added, Don't worry. My partner saw everything you all did this time. Lan Vun waved. Hello, I'm Lavun. Hearing those words, he grew wary. So they saw everything, huh? As expected, the government's surveillance network is everywhere. Xuan Tweet explained, In a moment, Little Law will take you to give your statements. We won't ask any questions. Unrelated to the case. He accepted the order. Yes, Brother Duong? Suddenly a voice came from behind. Chief Wong, they're over here. Ung Loi walked over and spoke. If I hadn't shown up, you would have let the suspect walk free. You student. You are suspected of assault and disturbing public order. We will be arresting you in accordance with the law. He leaned in close, holding up the paper. This is the arrest warrant. Vung Din protested. What are you talking about? They were the ones who threatened us. Ung Loi shot her a venomous glare. Threatened, all I see is you beating a group of ordinary citizens until their limbs were broken. Zhuan Tweet angrily grabbed Wang Loi's shirt. Don't you know what kind of people they are? What nonsense are you spouting? He replied, I know exactly what I'm saying, but since when does a third-rate inspector like you get to question me? Do you believe I can make you take off that inspector uniform? No. He was so angry he couldn't hold it back, and was about to lash out. Seeing the situation, Lavon grabbed his arm to stop him. Brother Dung, calm down. Suddenly a voice cut through the argument. I understand. I'll go with you. Zhuan Tweet was stunned. Kid, what are you talking about? But Deep Mac already understood. He could now be certain that the person behind this had gone to great lengths to deal with him. He dusted off his shoulder. It seems this criminal is quite sensible. He thought to himself, this sort of thing is probably going to keep happening. This is a good opportunity to gather more information. If I don't deal with this snake hiding in the grass, then I won't be able to cultivate in peace. That will affect how fast I get stronger. Although I don't know why you're calling me student. He flinched, realizing his slip of the tongue. Deep Mac's words were heavy with meaning. But it seems you're also one of that person's hunting dogs. You want to test me on behalf of your master here, and kill me. Wang Loi's expression was evasive. I don't know what you're talking about. Take him away. He walked right past everyone. The young man held a button in his hand. What a shame. Wang Loi was secretly panicking. When the hell did he manage to snatch my button? Deep Mac threatened, next time we meet it won't be just a button I take. He fumed. Just you wait, we'll see about you later. The scene shifts to a prison cell with cold iron bars. A prisoner sits cross-legged silently facing the wall. A guard walks by, tapping the iron door with a baton. He announced from outside, the one you've been waiting for is here. The higher-ups want him dead. With a savage look, Chu Tuan closed his book and accepted the order. Deep Mac was escorted in. This must be the prison. With a click, the door in front of him opened. The two police officers stopped. You go in alone. The iron door slammed shut. Deep Mac guessed, so they're preparing a private execution. Interesting. His face showed not a trace of fear or worry. Could this guy be the mastermind behind it all? Chu Tuan spoke up. It's been so many years. I've always followed one rule: don't touch ordinary people. After all, a normal person like you is just too weak for me. His words were filled with confidence and contempt. My name is Chu Tuan. I've been tasked with sending you on your way. Please don't struggle. Deep Mac's expression hardened. Another one sent after me, huh? From the moment I stepped into this room, I felt a strange numbing sensation. The two stood opposite each other in silence. He realized, now I'm quite sure, although it's very faint, the thing radiating from this man. A special aura emanated from Chu Tuan's body. It was spiritual energy. With his large, overwhelming physique, he said, I'll give you a painless death. As soon as he finished speaking, he lunged forward. But in a flash, Deep Mac had moved to a different spot, dodging the blow. This left Chu Tuan completely stunned. What? Suddenly he appeared and punched him in the face. You got one thing wrong. Deep Mac's voice was full of authority. Here you're the weak one. Chu Tuan took the full force of the blow and was knocked back, but he didn't give up. He reached out and grabbed his leg. Then, with immense strength, he slammed Deep Mac onto the ground and decisively threw him away like a ball. It was nothing. Deep Mac flipped and landed perfectly. Chu Tuan said, I admit I underestimated you. Next you're going to suffer immense pain. He paid him no mind, standing silently. Then, like a phantom, he vanished and reappeared, moving like the wind to get in front of him and deliver a powerful punch. Its force was so great that it sent Chu Tuan flying. He slammed into the wall, which cracked and dented. He coughed up blood on the spot. This strength, this... Before he could recover, he appeared above him, bringing a kick down. He had no time to defend himself. I'm dead. A kick like a thunderbolt sent dirt and rocks flying everywhere. The cloud of dust from the impact obscured his vision as Chu Tuan stepped out, unable to stop himself from cursing. He charged forward again. Don't you dare underestimate me. But Ye Mo easily dodged him. He countered with a direct punch to the gut, causing him so much pain, he coughed up blood and slid far backward, his strength seemingly depleted. Chu Tuan was utterly shocked. How is this possible? Without wasting a second, he suddenly appeared to deliver the final blow. Chu Tuan's face was slammed straight into the pavement, shattering the tiles. Now you're going to talk to me! Who the hell sent you? Tears and snot ran down the man's face as Yemo, radiating a menacing killing intent, threatened him. "And where did you get that spirit energy from?" His aura was overwhelming. Wang Lei grumbled, "What kind of monster are you dealing with this time?" The person on the other end of the line asked doubtfully, "Monster, what are you talking about? He's just some loser." That the Ye family cast out. Wang Lei was stunned. "A loser? You're telling me this guy is a loser? I just hope the man you arranged can handle him." The voice on the other end replied with certainty. "Don't worry, that guy is a thug from Lusha. After this is done, I'll recommend you to young Master Song. Wang Lei, you're the perfect candidate for the position of a level 4 inspector in the security district." Hearing this, an excited Wang Lei fiddled with the chess piece in his hand. "Zheng Wenchao, I hope you keep your word." Meanwhile, Yemo sat comfortably in a chair. Before him was the battered and bruised Chu Quan. "Still not talking even after all this? You've got some guts," Chu Quan lamented. "They really are still human. People like you are not someone mortals like us can touch." Yemo asked suspiciously, "People like us? People?" He wondered, could there be other cultivators in this world? Chu Quan began his story. "A few years ago in Liusha, I met an old monk." The memory of the meeting was still etched in his mind. He recalled his astonishment. The gust of air he created with just a flick of his wrist could topple a tree. Because our meeting was fated, he gave me a bottle of divine water. Over the years using his method, I drank that rare divine water to gradually make my body extraordinary. Yemo mused, the divine water he's talking about must be spirit liquid. Could there be a spirit spring in Liusha? I'll have to go check it out when I get the chance. Spirit springs only appear in places with dense spirit energy. Over time, highly concentrated spirit energy will condense into spirit liquid, and this spirit liquid will slowly accumulate, and eventually it becomes a spirit spring. Therefore, highly concentrated spirit liquid can only be obtained from a spirit spring. A single spirit spring on the Luoyue continent is an incredibly precious cultivation resource. He spoke, "Since you're no longer an ordinary person, why do you take orders from them?" He explained, "My daughter has ANS disease and the daily hospital bills are very high." The more he spoke, the more Chu Quan trembled with helplessness. "But the divine water, for this disease, it's fundamentally useless. I can only try my best to prolong my daughter's life." He punched the floor in agony. "I need to make more money quickly to find a cure for her." Hearing his reason, Yemo thought to himself, Anne's disease. This is easy to cure. With that in mind, he made an offer. "I might be able to save your daughter." Chu Quan was stunned as if he couldn't believe his ears. "What?" Yemo slowly stood up. "That divine water you mentioned is called spirit liquid. It has no effect on ordinary people. In fact, it can even be harmful. Spirit energy is a very vibrant form of energy. Generally, due to its fundamental nature, this energy has no effect. On ordinary people and at high concentrations, it can even be harmful. However, through special rituals and techniques, certain properties of the spirit energy can be amplified." He held up a talisman. "For example, its healing properties." Chu Quan jumped up. "Spirit energy. This is a talisman. Can this thing really work?" He pointed the talisman at Chu Quan. A green light enveloped his body. Watching his wounds gradually heal, Chu Quan was astonished. It can actually heal them." Yemo looked down at Chu Quan and asked again, "Well, make your decision. Tell me who's behind you and I'll save your daughter." A deadly glint flashed in his eyes. "Or die here." Faced with such an offer, Chu Quan could only laugh wryly. He looked up at Yemo. "You really are no ordinary person. The one who contacted me is Zheng Wenchao. Everyone calls him Young Master Zheng." At that moment, a young master was on the phone. "Wang Lei, that useless piece of trash." He actually got scared off by that weakling from the Ye family. Inside a luxurious room was Zheng Wenchao, the boss of the Huangshan Club. He smirked. "My love, shall we continue?" Wenchao gave a fake smile. "Tell me which piece of meat you want to eat, and tell me what you want to drink first." He was talking to a woman whose body was covered in wounds. She was chained up. Wenchao slowly approached her. "So naughty. Have you forgotten your table manners already?" He smiled as he looked down at the woman. "I want—" Suddenly, he grabbed her mouth tightly and ripped the tape off her face. Blood oozed incessantly from inside the woman's mouth. Her upper teeth had almost all been pulled out. Wen Qiao's face twisted into a distorted expression as he held a pair of metal pliers. "Which tooth should I pull next to help you remember better, The poor woman couldn't resist. She could only watch as the pliers were slowly inserted into her mouth. Crack! Another tooth was pulled out, in the most brutal way. A servant entered from behind. "Young Master Song asks if you're certain about the situation with Ye Mo." Wen Qiao wiped the blood from his hand and slowly turned around. "The thug I hired from Liu Sha. Tell young Master Song not to worry. I'm heading to the police station right now," he said excitedly. "No matter what, he'll just end up as a corpse." The scene changes. Chu Quan's voice is heard. "Take this. Consider it payment for the talisman you gave me." Ye Mo accepted the crucifix from Chu Quan's hand. Holding the crucifix, he examined it closely. It was, indeed, concentrated spirit liquid. Using it to water the silver heartgrass would help it produce seeds quickly. Then he could immediately use the seeds to refine a qi condensation pill and advance to the second level of cultivation. He put the spirit liquid in his pocket. "Thank you. This is indeed useful to me," Chu Quan warned. "If I can't deal with you, Zheng Wenqiao will definitely not let you go. For those he targets, death is the best outcome." Ye Mo turned and walked away. "It's fine, just remember the agreement between us. As for Zheng Wenqiao..." Ye Mo smirked. "If he doesn't come looking for me, I'll go looking for him." Another morning arrived. At Ninhai University, a car was slowly pulling in. An elegant figure stepped out of the car. Tingwen slowly emerged from the supercar. She took off her sunglasses and looked at a stack of documents. "If I hadn't seen these photos with my own eyes, I would never have believed that the young man selling talismans is actually the legendary abandoned son of the Yi family. To think he's my younger brother. I wonder if I'll get to meet him. Uncle Wang should be in his office today. I'll ask him first to see which class Ye Mo is in." In the office, an angry voice rang out. "Eldest uncle, that inspector is a truly bad guy." Wang Newhua, the principal of Ninhai University, slammed his hand on the table in frustration. "That won't work either. If what you say is true, then I definitely can't get involved. Doing so would drag me down with you." Wang Ying, from a branch of the Wang family, was also indignant. "Why won't the university intervene? Ye Mo was arrested by that corrupt inspector because of me. I can't just stand by and do nothing." Yunshui, a teacher at Ninhai University, had to restrain Wang Ying. "Just let it go. Maybe Ye Mo will be released soon." While the situation was chaotic, the office door creaked open. All three were startled by the person who had just pushed the door open. "Sister Tingwen," she asked, stunned, "did you say Ye Mo?" Meanwhile, at the police station, Xuanshui furiously shouted, "Wang Lei, don't you go too far. I've been tracking Scarface's gang for a long time. It took everything I had to finally catch them. And now you're just letting them go." She pointed directly at him. "Wang Lei, you're abusing your power for personal gain." Wang Lei sat leisurely in his chair, twirling a pen. "Inspector Jiang, you need to have evidence. Can you bear the consequences of slandering a superior officer?" Xuanshu lunged forward. "Don't you think I don't know what you've been doing behind the scenes?" Wang Lei challenged back. "Oh, then why don't you tell me?" As the two were in a tense standoff, someone suddenly entered from outside. "Miss, this is the captain's office. You can't come in." Wang Ying pushed the door open and entered with Tingwen. She shouted, "It's him, you release Ye Mo now." The police officer outside was flustered. "Captain Wang, I'm sorry I couldn't stop them." Wang Lei grumbled, "How can you not even stop a few people?" He worriedly picked up a cigarette. "Who is this girl, but what kind of background could that ya kid possibly have? How powerful could this girl's connections be?" Lighting his cigarette, Wang Lei spoke. "Your friend is suspected of robbery and assault, so he cannot be released yet." Xuanshu interjected, "Nonsense. Since when was that charge added?" He warned her, "Am I the captain, or are you internal documents are not to be disclosed?" Wang Ying angrily questioned, "Where are those bad guys? Why aren't they here? You let them go. But you want to lock up Ye Mo. This is blatant favoritism." Wang Lei did not back down. "I have no reason to explain myself to you. If you don't leave my office, I will arrest you for obstructing justice." Tingwen slammed her phone down on the desk. She sat down leisurely. "All right, I'd like to see how you're going to arrest me." Wang Lei didn't hold back. He waved his hand. "Men!" Immediately, a group of police officers entered. "Take them to the detention cell to cool off a bit." A sinister look appeared on his face. "I now suspect they are accomplices to the robber. I am officially ordering you to be detained." He looked over at Xuan Shui. "As for you, young Xuan Shui, you are deliberately shielding a criminal. You need to be suspended from duty pending investigation." Xuan Shui was indignant. "Wang Lei, you dare abuse your authority." Tingwen remained calmly seated. "This is quite an arbitrary way to press charges. Did Police Chief Kyo approve this?" Wang Lei laughed mockingly. "Arbitrarily press charges, miss. Falsely accusing a national public servant is a much more serious crime." She just smirked slightly. "I'm just curious. Because I heard that those people have shown Inspector Wong quite a bit of favor." Immediately, his face darkened. "Those words could get you into a lot of trouble." She responded resolutely. "That Ye Mo. Can I also use money and power to deal with him?" He took a drag from his cigarette. "People with money, power, and influence, of course, have special privileges. Your friend's fate was sealed long ago. And that could, of course, include all of you. For example, next you will all be attacked by Inspector Yang, and Inspector Yang will fight bravely to the end." He declared, "All of you will die here." Suddenly, Tingwen spoke into the air. "Did you hear that clearly, Police Chief?" The phone on the table emitted a voice. "I heard it loud and clear, miss." Only then did Wang Lei stutter in fear. "Police! Chief! Police Chief Tinvan, what's with the arrogant tone? With a voice like this, do I even need to introduce myself?" A firm voice came from the other end of the line. "Wang Loi has been suspended from duty, pending investigation into allegations related to organized crime, abuse of power, and threatening the family of a council member. I'll be there immediately." Wang Loi felt all the strength drain from his body. "Miss, a relative of the council member's family. Who on earth are you?" She introduced herself. "I'm To Tinvan. To is in the To family of Nin Hai." The more he heard, the more horrified he became. "Why the To family? That kid? How does he know someone from the To family?" Meanwhile, inside his cell, Diep Mak was staring intently at the object Chu Tuan had just given him. Diep Mak held the cross in his hand. "There's not much spirit liquid this time, only enough for one upgrade. What a shame." Suddenly he heard a noise from outside. Someone was coming. It was a familiar silhouette, slowly approaching his cell. The door to Diep Mak's cell creaked open, and he was stunned to see who had come to get him. Tinvan and Vung Ding entered. "Classmate Diep Mak, long time no see." Elsewhere, Vun Qiu angrily smashed a glass. "What a bunch of useless trash," he seethed as he sat down. "One gets beaten half to death, and the other gets thrown in prison. Utterly useless." Vun Qiu ground his teeth. "If I can't carry out the Tong family's plans, things won't end well for me either. Damn it." Thak Wien, standing nearby, spoke up. "Young Master Trin, what are your next orders?" Vun Qiu clenched his fist. "Find our best man. Arrange for him to beat that guy senseless until he's got just one breath left. This needs to be done to show the Tong family our sincerity. I have to personally torture that worthless piece of crap. The TV was showing the latest news bulletin. All of these reasons had nearly exhausted all the money I had. Before me were the Holy Cross flower, an alchemy furnace, and a green condensing fruit. The furnace emitted a golden glow. Success. A chi condensing pill. A hand took the spirit pill and placed it in his mouth. Diep Mak floated in midair. No wonder this is a chi condensing pill refined from such a potent spirit liquid. Even though it's a simple pill, its effects are remarkably powerful. I finally did it, second level of the innate stage. A golden light flashed across the room. Diep Mak stepped out and looked at the dog on the floor. "Long time no see Vanan Bo. From now on, not even a bullet can hit us. I've used up all of this spirit liquid. The next upgrade will require even more spirit items, liquid, and energy. According to what Chu Tuan said, Lu Sa Town is the place most likely to have a spirit spring. But to go to Lu Sa, going through the official border crossing is too dangerous. According to Chu Tuan, if I can find someone called Snakehead, he can get me across." He looked at the piece of paper in his hand. "But Snakehead requires a fee of 100,000. Right now, that amount of money is far beyond my means." Suddenly, a commercial for the Tovan Beauty Salon appeared on the TV. "Just one injection to reverse aging and keep your youthful looks. It's here now, and it's the hottest-selling product on the market. What are you waiting for? One shot for $1,999, the lowest price in history. Diepmak reached for the green box on the table. The women of this world are all obsessed with holding on to their youth. So this party, it might just be an opportunity. 5 hours earlier, he was having a meal with a young woman, never expecting that she was the daughter of Councilman To of Nin Hai City. No wonder Vung Din said she could call the chief inspector's office directly. Tin Vun began, "Classmate Diepmak, the reason I'm here is because I hope you'll agree to do something for me." Diepmak, who was in the middle of chewing, looked up and asked, "What is it?" She replied, "The To Van building. Have you ever heard of it?" Diepmak held his chopsticks. "I've heard of it. I think it's the building that belongs to the biggest cosmetics corporation in Nin Hai City." Tin Vun extended her hand. "That building is mine. Tomorrow night there will be a party on the rooftop to celebrate my mother's recovery. I hope you'll be able to join us." Diepmak was surprised. The skyscraper was immense, its top floors shrouded in a haze of light. On the rooftop, a crowd of people were laughing and chatting cheerfully. Diepmak thought to himself, "Although my cultivation level isn't high enough to refine true spirit pills, yet I have no problem making common medicinal pills." He looked at the item in his hand. "Like this beauty-retaining pill, for instance." Diepmak opened the box, revealing a white spirit pill inside. "This type of pill isn't complex for the female cultivators on the Luoyue continent, and it was already extremely common. But here, these are all wealthy aristocratic women. I only need to sell 3 or 4 of these pills to make my 100,000. He looked towards the woman surrounded by the crowd. "The opportunity is right in front of me. Tonight is my chance to promote my brand." Ngu Diem spoke up. "Tin Vun, a 30-year-old woman, isn't exactly a little girl anymore." Tu Vun added, "Isn't that the truth? Our eldest sister isn't getting any younger, and yet she gives no thought to our family." Ngu Diem continued. "Second sister, can you please handle this for Tin Vun? Just look at our eldest sister. Isn't she so old now that nobody wants her?" Tu Vun, holding a cigarette, sneered. Serves her right for being so selfish when she was young. Now she's old and looks like a withered crone offering nothing to the family. You tell me, isn't she just a burden on this family?" Nyalan timidly started. A sharp voice cut her off. "What is it? Can't even get your words out." Chudung snapped, "Tu Vun, that's enough." Tin Vun, while pushing a wheelchair, also spoke up. "Our grandmother passed away so early. If eldest aunt hadn't taken care of all of us when we were children, of course she would look older than she is. Smoking a cigarette, are we, sis? I'm only doing this because it's for everyone's good. Now that you've come to your senses, we should push Jingwen to go through with it." Chudung chokes on the cigarette smoke. Jingwen rushes to her side. Mom, are you okay?" Tu Van shoves his hands in his pockets, a smirk playing on his lips. A woman who reaches a certain age without getting married or starting a family, what is she but defective merchandise? I think the Wang family is a fine choice. Marry Jingwen off to them. It'll be one less problem to worry about. Nyalam speaks up cautiously. Jingwen has her own thoughts. Tu Van blows a puff of smoke, his voice dripping with mockery. Her thoughts. He gives her a look of utter contempt. To still have those kinds of thoughts at her age is just a sign of selfishness. Tu Van raises an eyebrow and grinds his teeth. Do you really think opening some cosmetics company will make you young again, President Su? Of course it can. A voice cuts through the crowd. Ye Mo's face darkens. This gentleman used the term defective merchandise to describe a woman who has achieved so much in the business world. Truly, your eyes are bloodshot, utterly ignorant. How ridiculous. Tu Van's face contorts as he yells, Who? Who the hell are you? How did you get in here? He turns and points at the crowd. Security, where's security? Jingwen steps forward. This is Ye Mo. He's the honored guest who saved my mother. Chudung takes Ye Mo's hand. So you're the one who sold that talisman to Jingwen. Thank you so much, young man. Ye Mo bows slightly and withdraws his hand. Don't mention it, ma'am. Tu Van covers his nose with a handkerchief. What talisman? Are you sure you haven't been swindled by some con artist? Your mother recovered thanks to medical science, not some hocus-pocus. Ye Mo turns to him. It seems I need to introduce myself. I'm someone who has conducted some research on time and value. And I am also President Su's business partner. Jingwen looks at him surprised, thinking of those two words, business partner. Someone in the crowd points at Ye Mo. What kind of nonsense is this guy spouting? What's he even doing here? Ye Mo calmly addresses the gentleman's earlier question about whether cosmetics can restore youth. He holds out a box containing a spirit pill. This can give everyone the answer. Ngudiem smirks. What the hell is that? Just more smoke and mirrors. Ye Mo walks up to Na Lam and slowly opens the box. Ma'am, could you do me a small favor? She's surprised. Help you with what? He holds the box out in front of Na Lam. I invite you to try what's inside this wooden box. Nya Lam stares in astonishment at the glittering wooden box. Inside is a single radiant spirit pill, a youth-preserving pill. Tuvan points at Ye Mo and shouts, Lies! That piece of junk is probably poisoned. Na Lam looks at the spirit pill doubtfully. Can this really be eaten? Jingwen smiles brightly. Ye Mo is my partner. I trust him. I can try it. Chudong speaks up. Or how about I try it? He saved me. I trust him. The crowd starts murmuring, how can a medicine like that possibly exist? Ye Mo leans closer to Na Lam and whispers, Don't you want to know what it feels like to return to your blooming season? What? She is startled. Huh. Nya Lam recalls what people have said. Wilted flowers attract few butterflies. You're too old. Ha ha, an old cow grazing on young grass. At your age, still going on blind dates? Her face darkens. I'll eat it. Reaching out, she takes the spirit pill from the wooden box. Na Lam shuts her eyes tight and puts it in her mouth. I'll eat it. Ngudiem covers her mouth in shock. She really ate it. Nya Lam's face flushes slightly, but there seems to be no other change. Was it fake? Is it poisoned? Tuvan points at her with a mocking laugh. I knew this guy was a fraud, pretending to be some great master. How could we let a swindler like him in here to freeload? Nya Lam's skin becomes smooth and firm. Her eyelashes curl up. Her lips turn rosy. The crowd cries out, Quick look at her complexion and hair color! A man brings a mirror, exclaiming in awe, It's really changing. Na Lam covers her mouth in disbelief. That's right. This is really me, when I was young. Ngudiem and Tuvan have expressions of utter shock. A woman rushes forward and grabs his hand. The pill, she exclaims, her face beaming. How much is it? I want to buy one. Ye Mo replies nonchalantly. One pill is 20,000 yuan, but tonight I only brought 10. The crowd surges forward. I'll trade this. 30,000 yuan. I'll bid 50,000. I'll transfer 70,000 directly. Tuvan raises an eyebrow, despising this crowd of fools. What's one youth-preserving pill? The technology that created it is what's truly valuable. If I can just get the distribution rights, I can absolutely return to my peak. Ngudiem speaks up. But didn't our company go banker? Tuvan points in her face. Shush. Say one more word out of line and I'll sew your mouth shut. He flashes a wicked smile. So what, that little punk doesn't know anything. We just need to keep him here. And drag things out until Jingwen is married into the Wang family. By then the Wang family's investment will have been recouped. Won't this kind of pill still be within our grasp then? Huang Tian steps out with an insidious smile. Mr. Ye, our Huang Royal Group is willing to pay 200,000 for the distribution rights in your hands. Lin Nan steps up. 200,000. Our Lin family is willing to offer 1 million. Tuvan pushes his way between them. Humph, gentlemen. Mr. Ye is my niece's honored guest. How could he possibly cooperate with you? He turns to Ye Mo. Mr. Ye, why don't we negotiate in private? I'll offer 1.5 million for the dealership rights. As for the profits, we'll split them 70-30. Ye Mo said nonchalantly. 70-30? I get 70, you get 30? Zaiwen forced a laugh. No, of course I get 70, you get 30, Auntie. Auntie, our Zhu family's channel, Jingwen asked doubtfully. The Zhu family. The Zhu family's channel. Yu Yan and Ziwen said in unison. Jingwen, what do you mean by that, we're family? Jingwen's face turned cold. Family last week when you mortgaged the company Grandma left behind to speculate on futures contracts and lost 80 million. Did you think about family then? Ziwen, startled and sweating profusely, blurted out, What nonsense are you spouting? Jingwen held up her phone. The bank's divestment notice and debt collection letters. Do you need me to read them out one by one? Churong asked in shock. What, he mortgaged Mom's company? Ziwen was terrified. How did you find out? You investigated me. Jingwen crossed her arms. You only came here today to ask my mother for money, just like how you begged to take over the company my grandmother left behind, she said loudly. I won't give you a single cent, and on top of that you expect to get something for nothing. He doesn't have 1.5 million at all. He's probably trying to trick us again. He suddenly dropped to his knees. I can explain, Jingwen. Second sister, please say something for me. I'm your little brother. Churong pushed his hand away. Ziwen, you've disappointed me so much. That year you said you would change if we just handed Mom's company over to you. His face went pale as he grabbed her dress. Big sis, you've always loved me the most since we were kids, no matter what. I'm begging you, sister, I'm the only son in our family. Yalan closed her eyes. Ziwen, you've never cared about family, but you absolutely should not have recklessly gambled away Mom's inheritance like this. She shoved him away. Things have already reached this point. You need to take responsibility for yourself. Ziwen's face was ashen. No, sister, you can't abandon me. Jingwen raised an eyebrow. Right now you have only two choices. Either be subjected to a forced court order and spend the rest of your life paying off debts or sell the company to me. I'll pay you 1 yuan for it. Of course you can ask around and see if anyone else is willing to take on this ruined company. He was horrified. What? The crowd looked at him, covering their mouths and laughing. He really brought this on himself. Jingwen turned to her classmate. Classmate Ye, there are quite a few powerful people at this party. She suggested, if you need, I can make an introduction. By my calculations, the pill dealership is worth 2 million at most, and you can take an 80% profit. You need to choose carefully. Yemo spoke up. That is indeed the case. However, I'll only feel at ease if I partner with you. He was sitting in a nice golden car. This place you live isn't bad. Yemo stepped out of the car. That's right, I got it through a real estate agency. He looked at Jingwen. Thanks for driving me home. Jingwen waved her hand. There's no need for formalities between friends. He looked puzzled. Friends? Jingwen smiled brightly. That's right. Aren't we friends? Jingwen left. Yemo put his hands in his pockets and walked slowly. He looked up at the sky. This life really isn't so bad. Yemo reached his front door and stopped. He reached for the handle and pushed the door in. The door slowly creaked open. Light streamed through the gap, shining directly onto a pool of blood on the floor. The golden retriever was dead, a knife buried in its stomach. Yemo's eyes widened, his pupils constricted, and the veins on his face bulged. What happened? Wu Bei, dressed in inconspicuous clothing, was on the phone. Young Master Zheng, the kid is back. There's another woman with him. Seems to be his girlfriend. The person on the other end of the line gave an order. Excellent. Grab that girl, too. Make that waste of space feel true despair. Young Master Tong will be extremely pleased. The door opened a crack, letting in a sliver of light that revealed a pool of blood. I hope he likes the gift I prepared for him. In front of him was the small dog, stabbed with a knife. Yemo rushed in quickly, dropping to one knee beside it and reaching out a hand to check its condition. Still breathing. Phew, I can still save it. Just then, a man on the ceiling, Su Lin, took a knife from between his teeth and stabbed straight down. Now's my chance. Just as the tip of the knife was about to pierce his shoulder, he vanished in an instant, leaving the attacker stunned. Suddenly, a foot flew towards the attacker's face. It was Ye Mo. Holding the dog in his arms, he kicked Su Lin straight in the face. His accomplices heard the commotion and rushed in with their weapons. What happened? He put the puppy down. Go outside first. Leave this to me. He glanced back. So there are more of you. Are you all coming at once, or do you want to line up to die? They charged forward. Go cripple him, young Master Zheng wants him alive. One man lunged forward to strike first, but Yemo easily dodged him. He then countered with a powerful, direct punch, knocking the punk out in an instant. The remaining men saw this and grew wary. Huh, what's going on? This guy. His voice sounded like it was echoing up from hell. That's one. Another thug who didn't know any better charged forward. Don't get cocky. He was also dodged neatly and quickly. His knife-wielding arm was disabled in a flash. Before he could even react, his throat was grabbed. Yemo effortlessly lifted him into the air with one hand and then slammed him down instantly. Number 2. They didn't give up, instead pulling out guns. Change of plans. Shoot his limbs. He nimbly moved through the rain of bullets. I'm going to take the bones of every single one of you and use them to smash your teeth until you tell me what I want to hear. Elsewhere, a table was laid out with all sorts of tools. Wen Chao picked up a dinner knife. I originally thought she was just a small fry. I never expected her to be the woman every man in Ninghai City dreams of Su Jianzhong's precious daughter, Su Jingwen. He had a perverted look on his face. Suddenly, the phone on the table rang. Wen Chao picked it up. Is it done? Have you guys taken care of that brat Ye Mo yet? The voice on the phone rang out. Your guy is sleeping permanently now. He was stunned. Ye Mo continued, You've really managed to surprise me. Van Q replied, Have a listen and see who this is. I've got to say, Counselor Toe's daughter smells amazing. Hearing this, Ye Mo was shaken, his face darkening. I'm coming for you. Let her go. This is between us. It has nothing to do with her. The man laughed maniacally. You little punk. You've actually got some nerve. Interesting. Very interesting. You have only 40 minutes. In 40 minutes, everyone in Ninhai City will get to witness the entire process of her being turned into a human jigsaw puzzle. As for the address, you can find it yourself. With that, he hung up. Ye Mo was silent. He lowered the phone, then crushed it in his hand. Trin Van Q, we'll be meeting very soon. Back with Van Q. First, let's take a few pictures, shall we? He walked over and ripped the tape off Tin Van's mouth. Just then, there was a knock at the door. Why now, of all times? What is it? The bodyguards reported young Master Trin, the fire suppression system at the warehouse has been activated. Van Q was shocked. The warehouse, didn't you guys disable all the alarm systems there? What if an inspector shows up? I'll go check it out. You guys stay here and stand guard. Suddenly, there was a commotion among the bodyguards. Who are you? What are you doing? One of the men was sent flying into the door, knocking it down. Inside, Tin Van was tied to the bed. She struggled to open her heavy eyelids, her lips moving to call out, Ye Mo? The scene shifts to 1 hour earlier. Chu Tuan looked at the paper and sighed. What a pain, and so late at night. And I still have to deliver this smuggling introduction letter to that kid. I called him, but there was no answer. This guy... He read through the information on the paper and muttered, This must be it. Number 432 Jiangthen Street. Chu Tuan looked up at the building in front of him. That kid Ye Mo's place. Just then a voice rang out, Young Master Trin, that Ye Mo kid has gone inside. Hearing this, he let out a soft, Oh. Chu Tuan cautiously moved toward the sound as the person continued, Don't worry, young Master Trin. We've sent 6 assassins to the house. They'll be sure to cripple him before he can meet you. He then added, Oh, that's right. We've captured his woman. We're bringing hers to you now. As soon as he heard the name, Chu Tuan immediately realized, Young Master Trin. Trin Van Q. He's kidnapped Ye Mo's woman and there are assassins in the house. After that, the car quickly started its engine and sped away. Chu Tuan immediately jumped in his car to give chase. Screw it. I'll follow them first and send him their location. And so he tailed the car ahead. When the car stopped, it was in front of a large building and the door opened. Nearby, a phone rang out. Hiding to the side, Chu Tuan answered, You finally picked up. It looks like Trin Van Q has kidnapped your woman. I've tailed them to a villa now. His voice was perfectly calm as he asked, Is it number 32 Bin High Street? Hearing this, he was astonished. How did you know? At that moment, Ye Mo had just finished with one of the men. The guy lay on the ground begging, I'll talk. I'll tell you everything. Stop healing me. Just let me die. He then spoke to Chu Tuan on the other end. I need you to do me a favor. Rescue my girlfriend and get her away from there. As for Trin Van Q, Ye Mo's eyes glinted with cold, murderous intent as he spoke. I'll personally send him to hell. Meanwhile, inside the villa, 2 bodyguards stood waiting by a door. Then Trin Van Q came out shouting, Damn it! The warehouse! Didn't you guys disable all the alarm systems there? What the hell are we going to do if an inspector shows up? He then headed for the door. I'm going to take a look. You 2 stand guard here. Meanwhile, Chu Tuan had already managed to get inside the villa. The 2 bodyguards couldn't help but look at each other and sigh. Man, this job is so tough this year. It's ridiculous. The woman inside can't even move. Just then the bald guard suddenly flinched and shouted, Who are you? Chu Tuan's entire body radiated a powerful spiritual energy as he slowly approached. The other guard panicked. What do you think you're doing? He smiled at them and warned, "Sorry, but this is probably going to hurt a little." A short time later, the bald man was beaten until he spat up blood. Chuton clenched his fist and entered the room where Tin Van was lying tied on the bed. She whispered faintly, "Yay, Mo." Seeing this, he couldn't help but scratch his head, flustered. "Damn it, that kid Yemo, you owe me big time for this." After that, Chutuan slung her over his shoulder and turned to leave. "Gotta get out of here fast." He began to pick up speed, rushing towards the door. "I've got to get out through the back exit before they have a chance to react." Chutuan's hand reached for the doorknob. He calculated, "My car is in the yard just behind this gate. With this alert going on, maybe they probably won't be able to make it back in time." But just then, suddenly a bullet tore through his thigh. Chuton immediately collapsed quickly, using his hand to support Tin Van's head as blood gushed from the wound. She still showed no reaction at all. On the other side, Trin Van Kio held a gun and smirked smugly. "Looks like my shooting skills haven't gotten rusty at all." One of her subordinates immediately started flattering her. "No wonder you're a god with a gun, Ms. Trin." Exactly. Seeing that man, Chuton couldn't help but worry. How did he get back so quickly? Trin Van Kio walked over and asked Chuton, "You actually dare to show your face in front of me?" He struggled to get up, saying, "Mr. Trin, it's been a while." Hearing Chuton's words, the man burst out laughing. "Today really is a good day. Now I just have to think of all the ways I'm going to torture you two." Trin Van Kio gave a cruel smile. "I'm so happy." His voice remained calm as he sighed. "This is so unreasonable. If you want my life, you can try to take it." At that moment outside the villa, Diep Mak had arrived. The bodyguards saw him. They immediately raised their weapons and approached cautiously. "Who's there?" His entire body was now radiating a powerful killing intent as he slowly walked forward. One of the men blocked Diep Mak. "Hey, asshole, I'm talking to you." Without a word, Diep Mak threw a punch directly at the man. He was instantly sent flying. The remaining men were shocked and astonished. "What is this?" Then they all charged forward to attack him. However, Diep Mak easily knocked them away one by one with a single move. He then used his incredible speed to get to the door, kicking a nearby man away. Arriving there, Diep Mak stared straight at the villa and said softly, "Trin Van Q, I'm here." Inside, Chutuan coughed up a mouthful of blood from his injuries. He couldn't help but lament, "There are too many of them. I can't hold them off." "Damn it," Chutuan thought with regret. "I never should have agreed to that kid's request. It looks like there's no way to save that kid's girlfriend now." "How foolish!" Trin Van Q sneered triumphantly. "After you're dead, I'll find your son and your woman and send them to join you." He laughed like a madman. "Piece by piece." Just as he finished speaking, the door behind him was suddenly kicked open. Seeing this, Trin Van Q shouted angrily, "Who is it?" A hazy silhouette appeared in the dust outside. Diep Mak walked in coldly and announced, "The one who's sending you to hell." Seeing him, Chuton couldn't help but let out a sweaty sigh of relief. "Diep Mak, you're finally here." Diep Mak took out a blue talisman and gave it to him, saying, "This is a healing talisman." He reminded him, "Just use it like I told you last time." On the other side, Trin Van Q saw Diep Mak. He panicked and shouted, "Kill him!" Immediately, the sound of gunfire erupted, all aimed straight at him. Diep Mak charged forward at the speed of light. For a chi cultivator at the second level who had mastered the cloud shadow step, bullets were completely useless. Then one of the men was kicked squarely in the face. Seeing this, Trin Van Q's face turned pale with fear. With his speed, just like that, another man was sent flying by Diep Mak. The man quickly backed away behind his guards, preparing to escape. Trin Van Q went behind a door. He announced to his remaining subordinates, "I'm heading to the safe room." With that, he immediately scrambled to run away. The intel was completely wrong. That kid is definitely not the Deep family's good-for-nothing. Only a prodigy from a prestigious family could possess skills like that. Trin Van Q rushed toward the door, yelling nonstop, "Hurry, hurry, open the door!" He was now so scared that he kept entering the wrong password. Growing more and more panicked, Trin Van Q yelled, "Damn it!" Suddenly, one of his subordinates was kicked into the door. He trembled as he turned to look back and threatened Diep Mak, "You better understand the person backing me is someone you can't afford to provoke." Trin Van Q added, "I can spell it out for you. The one who wants you dead this time is the Tong family. I have the Tong family's support." Diep Mak continued to walk slowly. With a weapon in hand, he asked, "The Tong family, who are they?" He glared, warning the man. Your answer will determine the amount of pain you're about to suffer. Trin Van Q immediately stammered his reply. It's young Master Tong 1, the young master of the Tong family, because of a rumor that you have an illicit relationship with the young lady of the Nin family, and the Nin family is currently planning a marriage alliance with the Tong family. That's why they want to kill you to squash the rumors. Hearing this, Diepmak thought to himself, Nin Kin tweet again. If I remember correctly, I've never even met her, let alone touched her. So this rumor is a conspiracy against me who started it, he muttered to himself. Right now it could only be the Tong family. On the other side, the man fearfully continued, Diepmak letting me go is the best option for both of us. There are many people in the Tong family who are just like you. Even young Master Tong is just as strong as you are. Hearing this, Ye Mo frowned, thinking that Song Xiaowen was a cultivator. Zheng Wenchao, terrified, added, Just let me go and I can help you survive. You'll understand my value one day. He couldn't help but scoff your value. As if he saw a chance to live, the man immediately replied, That's right, you should be smart about this. But right after that, Zheng Wenchao took a direct punch from Ye Mo. The force was so strong it sent him flying backward, and the door was immediately smashed down. The terrified scream of a girl echoed from inside. Inside the room, it turned out there were many captured girls, their bodies covered in wounds. Seeing this, Ye Mo's expression filled with rage. He silently observed the entire scene in the room. Rage surged through Ye Mo's mind. He said, As for the rest of your value, just let them help you find out. He immediately swung, cutting all the chains holding the girls. Then Ye Mo threw a knife on the ground. He turned slightly and said, His life is yours. On the other side, Zheng Wenchao, in too much pain to move, reached out a hand to beg, I still have value. I have a lot of money, I can give them all to you. At that moment, one of the girls picked up the knife, murmuring, I don't need anything. Now freed, a cruel light appeared in all the girls' eyes. I just need one stab, and then another, to send you to hell. Outside, Ye Mo had already placed Jingwen on the sofa and started treating her. He sat in a nearby chair and reminded Chu Quan, You should go. I've already called the police. The inspectors will be here soon. Hearing this, he asked, Aren't you leaving? Ye Mo raised his head and replied softly, I'll leave after the inspectors arrive to pick her up. Chu Quan asked again, You've got your answer now. What are you going to do next? Ye Mo's gaze sharpened as he replied, Wait for the right moment, investigate Song Xiaowen thoroughly. He lowered his head, his resolve hardening, and then finish him for good. In a small room, Ye Mo was doing one-handed push-ups, his body drenched in sweat. He thought to himself, Even though I've dealt with Zheng Wenchao, Song Xiaowen, the one behind him, is still a threat. I need to find a way to track him down and eliminate him completely. Suddenly, the puppy looked up with a confused expression. Ye Mo grabbed a towel to wipe his sweat and walked to the door, muttering, Who could it be at this hour? As soon as the door opened, someone said, Young Master Ye, President Su sent me to give this to you. She also instructed us that after you are ready, and we can depart at your convenience. He held it in his hand, curious. Depart? What is she up to? Ye Mo slammed the door shut. As he walked inside, he made a phone call. You had someone bring me an invitation. Why was there a suit, too? Is it that formal? Jingwen replied cheerfully. Looks like you've received it. Have you looked at it yet? This time it's a banquet hosted by the Chu family. Ye Mo stared at it, wondering, the Chu family, do I have to go? She affirmed, Of course. First, the Chu family controls the largest pharmaceutical group in Ninghai. This is very beneficial for the future development of our beauty pill. Second, your ex-fiancé will be there too, Ye Mo exclaimed in confusion. My ex-fiancé? He glanced to the side, having a suspicion. You mean... Jingwen then revealed the young lady of the Ning family, Ning Qingshui. An observer watched the two talking and introduced them. That's Pierce, the official representative of S Corporation, and Zhu Xiangte, the chairman of Jianhe Group. Both are influential figures in the Ninghai business community. Ye Mo crossed his arms, wondering if people like them would even care about the Chu. A family in Ninghai. Jingwen, holding a glass of wine, questioned him. You come from a great family too. Don't you know how powerful they are? Just being a relative of the Ning family is enough to make these people fight to establish a connection. Besides, the one arriving today is the young lady of the Ning family herself. Suddenly, a noise came from the main entrance. Seeing two people walk in, she quickly pointed them out. And that is the head of the Chu family. The person next to her is Ning Qingshui. Qingshui walked in, surrounded by a green aura. Yemo glanced over, thinking, is this spiritual energy? So she's the one I was engaged to. Ning Qingshui of the Ning family walked with some hesitation while Chuna of the Chu family smiled and waved. He suddenly pursed his lips in doubt. She's a cultivator, too. Could it be that all the great families have their own cultivation methods? Moreover, she isn't making any attempt to conceal her spiritual energy. Is it because she's that confident? She must know Song Shaowen's background very well. I'll have to find a chance to ask her about it. Just then, Jingwen, holding a gift box, wished Auntie Chu, I wish you good health and peace. Chuna came forward and asked, Jingwen, how has your mother been lately? I heard she woke up recently. Heaven truly blesses the good. She politely acknowledged, thank you for your concern, Auntie. My mother's health has been gradually recovering lately. On behalf of my mother, I've brought you the newest youth-retaining pill from our company, Auntie Chu. I hope it helps you stay forever young. She asked excitedly, is this the youth-retaining pill that's been all the rage lately? Right. The people around couldn't help but be surprised. Is that the recent youth-retaining pill? I heard this product is now being sold for an astronomical price. Moreover, a single pill is hard to come by. It's practically priceless on the market. King Shui was also surprised by such an extravagant gift. Juna held the pill in her hand and mumbled, this quality that's nearly reached the level of a spirit pill. The creator of this pill must have a profound understanding of pill alchemy, reaching a very high realm. I've met all the known alchemy grandmasters. I wonder which grandmaster made this. It doesn't even have an alchemist's seal. Jingwen immediately turned her palm towards Yemo and introduced him Auntie Chu. This pill was refined by my business partner, who is also a close friend of mine. He quickly spoke up, hello, I'm Yemo. After hearing this, both she and Qingshui were stunned, sharing the same thought, Yemo. Chuna quickly placed a hand on her chest, reminiscing, you're Yemo. You've grown so much. I used to hold you when you were little. I really can't believe this pill was made by you. The Yi family is truly blind. Qingshui closed her eyes and called out in a strained voice, Auntie, these kinds of skills are useless in a cultivation family. You know that the cultivation families value cultivation level above all, but with your skills, you could have long become an outer elder of the Ning family. Hearing this, Yemo realized that the cultivation families did indeed possess cultivation methods. Although they were crude, they couldn't compare to the cultivation methods of Luo Yue. She scoffed, Auntie, given his status now, these skills of his are completely useless. She sighed in agreement. You have a point, but I truly didn't expect your pill-refining ability to be so profound. Who is your master? This question made Yemo ponder. Master. The silhouette of a woman flashed in his mind. A second later, Yemo replied casually, I just practice for fun. I don't have a master or anything. Oh, right. I wanted to ask something. Suddenly a voice interrupted. Well, isn't it lively in here? He and his bodyguards walked in. Auntie Chu, happy birthday. B. After that, the entire hall turned their eyes towards them. A few people nearby started whispering, that is... You won't believe this, but that's the young master of the Song family. I saw him once last year when I went to the capital for a Song family gathering. Chuna greeted politely. I didn't expect you to come, Shaowen. Yemo immediately turned his head, a sense of confusion in his heart. Could it be him? He teased Auntie Chu's birthday. How could I not come? If I didn't show up, Qingshui would surely blame me. Shaowen then noticed Jingwen. And this is... She introduced the young lady of the Su family, Su Jingwen. He squinted his eyes and let out an "Oh." Song Shaowen of the Song family. He extended his hand in greeting. Hello, Miss Su. I am Song Shaowen. Someone shook his hand and replied, I've heard of the great young master Song for a long time. Shaowen looked at Yemo blankly. And you are? He asked with confusion. He raised an eyebrow, thinking to himself, he doesn't recognize me. Is he pretending? Let's see how long you can keep up this act. According to Zheng Wen, Chao Song Shaowen is a cultivator. Yemo released a large amount of spirit energy and said, I'm Yemo, channeling the energy through their handshake. He calculated silently. Normally, cultivators deliberately hide their spirit energy fluctuations to conceal their strength except in special cases or when they can't contain their spirit energies. That's when fluctuations arise. However, the spirit energy within the meridians cannot be hidden. As long as my spirit energy penetrates his meridians right now, the spirit energy was transferred into Shaowen's body. After a moment of checking, Yemo was stunned. There's no spirit energy in his meridians. Isn't Song Shaowen supposed to be a cultivator? He then pulled his hand back, murmuring, Ye mo huh. Mr. Ye, it's a pleasure to meet you. Shaowen smiled and changed the subject. Gingshui, have you been well lately? He frowned, keeping his eyes on him, thinking, strange. His meridians show no signs of fluctuation. It doesn't seem like he's lying. Moreover, when he heard my name, he showed no killing intent. Could it be that it's not him? And so the banquet proceeded smoothly. Everyone raised their glasses, ate, and enjoyed the food. The butler then spoke up, Dear guests, after dinner the head of the Chu family has prepared a ball for all of you. We invite everyone to proceed to the ballroom. Then, one by one, the couples held hands and danced to the romantic music. Model. Right now, Yemo was in the bathroom looking at himself in the mirror and wondering, if Song Shaowen isn't a cultivator, could it be that Zheng Wen Chao lied to me? As he walked, he pondered why she would lie to him. Tingwen turned and saw Ye Mo in a daze. Suddenly someone approached her and asked, Excuse me, may I have this dance? Su Tingwen closed her eyes and refused. Sorry, I'm not in the mood. After she walked away, another person came over and whispered in the man's ear, Are you crazy? That's Su Tingwen. The precious daughter of the Su family isn't someone you can just approach. She's rejected countless men over the years. Even the heir of the Fang family got rejected by her. Ah, just forget it. All these years. I've never heard of her actively approaching any man. The other person suddenly pointed forward, stammering, Look at that! He was stunned, letting out a gasp. Even Qing Shui had to glance over with a surprised, Oh! Meanwhile, someone called out, Yemo. Tingwen slowly raised her hand. She offered, May I invite you for a dance? Those two young men were completely dumbfounded. How is this possible? Shaowen and his bodyguards were now outside. Two bodyguards who were on standby immediately bowed and greeted young Master Song. He absent-mindedly stepped into the car. As Shaowen put one foot inside, he didn't forget to give an order, arrange it so that no one comes near. The bodyguards quickly complied, shouting, Yes, sir! After the door closed, the limo slowly started to roll. They sighed to each other. Here we go again. Every time he goes out, he sends everyone away and leaves one bodyguard alone with him in the car. I have no idea what he's doing in there. Quiet down! I heard that the men chosen to be young Master Song's personal bodyguards, they become very strange afterward, so much so that even their own families can't recognize them. It's like they've become a completely different person. What's more, young Master Song's bodyguard is changed every few days, but the previous ones just vanish without a trace. Suddenly a hand reached out. Bah! And slapped Shaowen across the face. He clutched his cheek and listened to the scolding, You idiot! How dare you shake another woman's hand in front of Qing Shui? Shaowen said fearfully. I'm sorry. The other person? She lightly touched his ring, and spiritual energy radiated from it. The man's face gradually contorted, and his voice became sinister. It's a good thing you're still useful to me. Otherwise, you wouldn't have survived this long. But if you can't even handle something like this... It turns out the Shaowen who appeared at the party was a bodyguard in disguise. At this moment, the real Song Shaowen transformed from the bodyguard's appearance back to his original face, threatening. Then you can only pray that your death won't be too ugly. Not long after, the car door opened and a foot planted firmly on the ground. The real Shaowen coldly slammed the car door shut. Seeing this, the team of bodyguards bowed in unison and greeted young Master Song. He commanded, You two follow me into the main hall. Both immediately shouted, Yes, sir. Liu Yi at that moment glanced at the car and thought to herself, So the rumors were true. As expected, only one person came out. What on earth happened in there? Inside the car, the fake Shaowen had been tied up with his mouth taped shut and thrown into a corner. A murderous aura emanated from him as tears of hatred streamed down his face. Cutting back to the party inside, while some people were playing the piano and violin, Shaowen entered, raised his hand and called out loudly, I'm sorry, Qing Shui. Something came up just now. He suddenly gasped at the sight before him. Shaowen noticed Tingwen, who was gracefully dancing. Everyone else was also looking at her and Yemo whispering, Isn't that Su Tingwen from the Su family? Why is she dancing with a man who is that guy? Does anyone know? Tingwen was now blushing brightly amidst the gentle melody. He was a little surprised by her expression. The pianist quickly pressed a final key to end the song. Just then, Yemo pulled Tingwen into his arms. She went along with it simultaneously, raising an arm behind her. Tingwen blushed and praised, Not a bad dancer, are you? He was so bewildered he started to break out in a sweat. He could only manage an awkward laugh. She held up a finger and reminded him, "This is a high society event. We need to act naturally and in a manner befitting the occasion. This is the only way we can introduce our Juyan pills to the Chu family." Ye Mo was stunned, silently thanking his luck. Fortunately, the original owner of this body learned some dancing skills back when he was with the Yi family. That combined with his enhanced physique. At the second level of Xiantian, otherwise this would have been a real headache. Chuna also spoke up. "I never expected Ye Mo to be such a good dancer. I never knew that about you, dear nephew." Qingshui turned her face away and scoffed. "What's the use of dancing? In the end, he's just an ordinary person." Her aunt glanced over and exposed her, "Oh, but you were just staring at him without blinking." Xiaowen suddenly interjected, "This Mr. Yet seems to be a very skilled dancer, doesn't he?" Chuna asked. "You really don't know Ye Mo." He smiled brightly and affirmed, "Of course. This is the first time we've met." She questioned him. With the far-reaching methods of the Song family, you couldn't investigate the background of an illegitimate child. Xiaowen hastily denied it. "Auntie Chu, you must be joking. Zhanghai City is your territory, Auntie Chu. How would I dare to overstep my bounds?" Chuna rubbed her chin and said bluntly, "I'm not interested in the schemes of you great families. But Ye Mo's talent in the Tao of Alchemy is extremely high. I just want to preserve some seeds for the sake of the Tao of Alchemy, that's all. From now on, I will not turn a blind eye to his affairs." After hearing this, Xiaowen's face darkened as he thought, "Is this old hag threatening me? If I weren't being courteous to Ning Qingshui, I would have dealt with you a long time ago. And this worthless piece of trash, too. Did you hear everyone whispering behind her back just now? The kid next to Su Jingwen? I think his name is Ye Mo. That's right, that name sounds very familiar to me. Oh, I remember now. Ning Qingshui's fiancé is from the Ye family in the capital. I think his name is Ye Mo. It couldn't be him, could it? He actually dares to show his face in front of young Master Song. Well, I guess that's understandable. If I were Ye Mo, I wouldn't be able to accept it either. After all, he almost won the heart of the heavenly beauty Ning Qingshui. Of course, now that he's been kicked out of the Ye family, his only chance for a comeback now is to rely on the power behind Ning Qingshui. He's definitely using his connection to Ning Qingshui to seize this opportunity to return to the world of prominent families. Otherwise, how could he even be here? Suddenly, she slammed her wine glass down on the table. Zhu Na looked over, puzzled. "Didn't you say you wanted to come to the dance to relax? Why are you leaving so early?" Qingshui walked away, making the excuse that she was tired. "I'm going to go rest first." Her aunt could only sigh. That girl. Suddenly, someone called out to Ye Mo, catching his attention. She approached him with a lecturing tone. "I know what you're planning, but I advise you to give up on that idea. The relationships between the great families are incredibly complex, far beyond your imagination. Trying to get close to me to deal with the Yi family won't work." He looked away, tired of this. "What is she talking about?" Qingshui turned her head back to add, "You should just focus on refining your pills. Pill refinement may not be a respected profession, but it's enough for you to make a living." Ye Mo didn't bother to argue, simply taking a sip of his wine. She quickly turned to leave, adding, "I hope you take good care of yourself." Hearing this, he finally spoke. "Take good care of myself. Are you talking to me or to yourself?" Qingshui was startled by his words. After pausing for a few seconds, Ye Mo brought up the issue. "The spiritual energy around you isn't being released on purpose, is it? In fact, you're about to lose control of it." Surrounded by her own spiritual energy, she exclaimed in shock, "What? How did you know that?" He frowned, his tone serious. "This kind of domineering method for cultivating spiritual energy, although it allows for fast absorption, is a death sentence. In other words, your body can't control it anymore." In the middle of the grand banquet hall, the two stood facing each other. Qingshui asked, "You're an ordinary person. How do you know about this?" Ye Mo gently swirled his wine glass. "Not only do I know, but I can also help you solve this little problem of yours." She looked unconvinced. "And why should I trust an ordinary person like you?" He chuckled. "You don't have to trust me. After all, I'm not the one in a hurry. It's just that you don't have much time left. You can think of this as a transaction. I need you to do something for me. Give this to young Master Song Wen." Ye Mo said this with a hidden meaning. From a short distance away, a group of people saw them and began whispering. Song Wen gritted his teeth in anger. "Ye Mo..." The party ended and people gradually began to leave. Jingwen linked arms with him as they headed for the door. Suddenly a voice called out, stopping them. "Ye Mo!" It was Juna. Jingwen, your aunt is very interested in those beauty pills of yours. Can we talk about it some more? And so the three of them walked down the street together. He asked, Matriarch Ju, are you looking for me because of the beauty pills? She laughed. That's too formal. Given our family ties, you should call me Auntie Ju. Yemo said, I am no longer a member of the Yi family. So I wouldn't dare, Juna sighed. You and Qingshui are really the same kind of person. Both of you were sacrificed by your families. After Qingshui's parents passed away, her freedom has always been constrained by the Ning family. All of her rights are controlled by the head of the Ning family, which is her uncle. That includes her freedom to marry. Luckily, Qingshui was chosen by the ancient martial arts family behind the Ning family. Because of that, she was qualified to become a legendary cultivator. But in the end, a prominent family is still a prominent family. If she doesn't transcend beyond ordinary people, she will never escape the Ning family's influence. Su Jingwen was bewildered, not understanding a thing. She asked, Cultivator transcend. Meanwhile, Ye Mo was lost in thought. Transcend. That probably refers to the three realms of cultivation. The gap between those three pre-cultivation and post-cultivation realms is as wide as the sky and the earth. In her rush for quick results, Qingshui chose an ancient technique that no one had ever used before, which is what led to her body's continuous decline. In other words, she's trading her life for cultivation power. Matriarch Ju, why are you telling me all this? She replied gently. I have examined Qingshui's body before. I have no way to treat her, just like there was no effective method for Jingwen's mother. But you saved her. He listened in silence. Furthermore, I can't make those beauty pills of yours. The principles behind your pills far surpass those of any master I know. I see hope in you. Listening from the side, she was secretly astonished. Auntie Ju is the president of the Traditional Chinese Medicine Association, respected by countless doctors, yet she says she's no match for Ye Mo. But Ye Mo can do more than just refine pills. He can also create talismans and things like that. Could it be that Ye Mo is a legendary cultivator? He too had his own thoughts. That's right. Compared to the cultivation system of the Luoyue continent, this place is way too far behind. Chuna stated, Of course. Auntie is very interested in your Ju Yan pills. This time, representing the Chu family's company, I can enter into a close partnership with you all. Hearing this, Jingwen was overjoyed. With Auntie Chu protecting the base interests of our Ju Yan pills, we could expand our profits tenfold. Chuna playfully scolded, You little money grubber. But if you get the chance someday, I hope you can save Qingshui. She's actually a very gentle and sensitive girl. In fact, she was the one who was against calling off the engagement back then. Hearing this, he just remained silent. From behind, Xiao Wen walked up and said, Auntie Chu, so this is where you were. Before leaving, I wanted to come say goodbye to you in person, Auntie Chu. She replied politely, Xiao Wen, that's very thoughtful of you. He asked, Are Mr. Ye and Miss Su here as well? Even though I only just met Mr. Ye today, it feels like we're old acquaintances. I hope we'll have the chance to meet again. Yemo gave a slight smile. Of course. I believe our next meeting will be very soon. Although the two were shaking hands, they were gripping each other with immense force. The moment they made contact, he sensed something was off. How strange. There's spiritual energy inside him. A rather surprising discovery. After saying his goodbyes, Xiao Wen walked to his car, the door already held open by a bodyguard. A man reported, Young Master Song Miss Ning just asked me to give you a gift. I've already placed it in the car. He smirked. Oh, Qingshui sent me a gift. He opened it. Inside was a paper butterfly. What is this supposed to mean? Whatever. I'll accept the gift for now. Don't you go touching it, you hear me? Lam Lam caught it. Got it. Xiao Wen was deep in thought. That useless piece of trash Zheng Wenchao couldn't get the job done. Does that mean I have to get my own hands dirty? I thought Yemo might have changed, but it turns out he's still the same old trash. Chuna, Yemo? He rubbed the ring on his finger. You two just wait and see. A stream of spiritual energy radiated from it. I'll have Ye Qingshui kill you with her own hands. Xiao Wen had transformed to look exactly like Ye Mo, while Lam Lam sitting beside him trembled uncontrollably with fear. The paper butterfly in the box also began to glow with a green light. That night on the rooftop of a skyscraper, Ye Mo stood looking out over the city. A green butterfly landed on his hand. Song Xiao Wen, I told you. We'd be seeing each other again very soon. It seemed everything was going according to his plan. In the quiet of the night, a green butterfly flew over and landed on Yemo's hand. The tracking sigil pointed toward this building and then went still. That means the target is inside this building, and this building seems to be the property of the Song family. With that, he put his hands in his pockets, leaned forward, and then decisively jumped straight down. Time to get to work. Chuna was inspecting her inventory. The mystic gold flower, a metal attribute plant, blooms once every 3 years. The water spirit grass, a water attribute plant, blooms once a year. It's almost time to harvest. Just a few more days. By then, I'll be able to attend the Cultivators Convention in 3 months to trade for resources. Suddenly, she sensed an intruder. "Who's there?" a voice rang out. "No wonder they called you the genius of the 100 Herbs sect. Even now, with your cultivation realm diminished from your injuries, your sensitivity to spiritual energy is as sharp as it was back then." The man was Tula. Chuna went on guard. "A cultivator. Who are you people? What do you want breaking into my home?" Then she thought of a strategy. "It's just one cultivator. I might just be able to escape." Then another voice spoke. "Patron Chu, your mind is in turmoil. Surely you're not thinking of escaping, are you? The Buddha teaches that even a lion uses its full strength to hunt a rabbit. And that's despite the fact that your strength, Patron Chu, is less than 1/10 of what it once was. Still, it's best if we two brothers team up just to be safe." The second man was Tu Lin. Chuna was trapped. To think that 2 cultivators had come for her. "You two certainly overestimate me. I wonder what business 2 great masters such as yourselves have with me today." Tu Lin replied, "Amitabha, we've come today to invite you on a little trip, Patron Chu. We hope you won't make things difficult for us." Tula interjected, "Senior brother, stop wasting your breath on her. Let's just cripple her and drag her away." She held out a hand. "You too. What kind of person do you take me for? Since you're already here, you might as well stay forever." A cloud of smoke instantly filled the area. He covered his nose. "What is this?" He realized it instantly. "Damn it, it's poison." Chuna thought to herself. "Holding a 6-heart herb in my mouth can ward off the poisonous gas. The overlord flower that I cultivated and emits a poison strong enough to take down an elephant. That should hold them for a little while. I need to use this chance to get away quickly. There's no way I can win against these 2 cultivators." Before she could escape, a huge shadow appeared overhead. She froze, her body trembling uncontrollably. What is this? Could this be? A Dharma apparition Junas was captured by it. "You're from the Hidden Sect." A man walks in. "That's right. It was the Hidden Sect that wiped out the 100 Herbs sect all those years ago. Who the hell are you? The appointed time isn't even here yet." "You people wouldn't show yourselves." She's shocked. "You? How can it be you?" Yemo, disguised as Shaowen, replies, "And why shouldn't it be me? You seem surprised to see me, don't you?" Master Chu Thakwian yawns. "Time for the shift change." "What should we get to eat later?" his colleague suggests. "How about some Odin for tonight? It'll warm us right up." He agrees. Sounds good. Then they start gossiping. "Hey, young Master Song is in that room. It's so late, I wonder if he's eaten yet. A rich kid like him is used to eating all kinds of gourmet food. Don't worry about it." As they leave. "Hey, wait up." Yemo appears from behind a wall following the blue butterfly. This must be Tong Xiaowen's room. The butterfly stops in front of a large door. He follows it, stopping when it does. Surprised, he thinks to himself, he's not in there. Meanwhile, a man is slurping instant noodles, the sound echoing from a TV. If I had a choice, would I have really chosen this path? I didn't have a choice back then, and I still don't have one now. I don't want to live in a mansion. I don't want to eat gourmet food. Lam Lam angrily snaps his fork. Damn it. Damn it all. Everything is damn it. Why do I have to be in this situation? Why was I born with this face? Why do I have to suffer this kind of fate? He recalls being tied up in a car as Xiaowen threatened him. If anyone ever finds out you exist, you know what the consequences will be. I gave you this identity. You're just a knockoff. A knockoff can only ever be a knockoff. You will never become the real thing. So get rid of those pathetic ideas of yours. Your only value in this life is to be my shadow. Lam Lam is defiant. You won't let me touch this. Then I'll make sure I do. Why the hell should I listen to you? As soon as he opens the box, a paper butterfly flies out, startling him. What is this? Yemo appears from behind like a ghost. Who are you? Lamb. Lamb, terrified, immediately stumbles backward, losing his balance and falling hard onto the floor. Yemo walks towards him, not revealing a hint of killing intent. You don't recognize me, the boy stammers. You're Yemo from the banquet. What are you trying to do? I'm Tong Xiaowen of the Tong family. Stay away from me. Yemo's voice turns cold. Wrong. You're the fake. Tell me, where is the real Tong Xiaowen? His presence is overwhelming. Elsewhere, Mac Dung and his underlings are on the phone. Sorry to have kept young Master Song waiting. Taking care of some college student is a piece of cake. I've already checked it out. And I'm sure the kid will pass through this alley on his way home. Don't worry, we're already here waiting for him. When the time comes, we'll break all 4 of this kid's limbs. Then we'll wrap him up and send him to you. A lookout shouts, Boss, the kid's here. Just then, Yemo is walking along deep in thought. So this world actually has spiritual energy. Does that mean there are cultivators in this world? At least 4th level chi refining spiritual energy can be imbued into items, giving them special properties. These items are kept in an environment rich with spiritual energy throughout their creation. Because of that, the item itself contains spiritual energy. The item's quality depends on how much spiritual energy the crafter can retain during the process, but only cultivators at the 4th level won't have the forging skill, because their control over spiritual energy becomes incredibly precise. The spiritual energy in this world is too thin to even support spiritual forging, unless the Tong family controls a spirit spring, a clear stream flowing through a rocky crevice. After I'm done with Tong Xiaowen, I'll head to Liu Sha to find that spirit spring myself. I need to raise my cultivation level. Suddenly, a voice cuts through his thoughts. Hey! A group of men approaches him. Hey, kid. We've been waiting for you for a long time. Mac Dung says, Someone's put a price on your 2 legs. Now, are you going to do it yourself, or do you want us to help you? Yemo radiates killing intent and says nothing, which unnerves the man. What's with that look in his eyes? But he still puts on a brave face and orders his men, Get him! The group, weapons in hand, rushes forward. Get him! Mac Dung stands with his arms crossed. I brought my strongest crew with me, and there's no way we can't take you down. As soon as the words leave his mouth, his men are utterly decimated. He stares, dumbfounded, unable to believe his eyes. What? Meanwhile, Yemo, quick as lightning, takes them down one by one. One after another, they're knocked out cold with just a few moves. The more Mac Dung watches, the more he trembles. No way. Is this guy even human? Yemo holds one of the thugs up by his collar. Who sent you after me? Scene changed to the next morning at Juna's house. A team is investigating the scene while Qingshui stands frozen to the spot. A guard approaches to report. Miss Ning, we've retrieved the surveillance footage from the rooftop. This group broke in through the wall at around 1 a.m. this morning, and a conflict subsequently occurred in the Chu family's rooftop greenhouse due to limited surveillance time. Therefore, we can only assume the head of the Chu family was kidnapped. Although only part of the footage was recorded, it clearly shows 3 attackers and the face of one of them. It was clearly captured on screen. It was one of the guests from that day. Qingshui's brows knitted together. She immediately recognized the person on the screen as Yemo. A moment later, the car stopped in front of a villa and Qingshui got out. In her hand was her phone displaying a text message, number 432 Jiangcheng Road. She thought to herself, number 432 Jiangcheng Road. This must be the place. So Yemo actually dared to lay a hand on my family. A man ran out to greet her. Excuse me, are you here to see young Master Ye? Qingshui was suspicious. Are you Yemo's subordinates? Take me to him. So he even has subordinates. Just as I thought. He's the one behind my aunt's kidnapping. The man led the way. Young Master Ye is in the courtyard. She looked around thinking, he has so many subordinates, though they're all just ordinary people. Inside, Mo Yong brought over a cup of water. Young Master Ye, the temperature is just right. Before he could be called, Ye Mo glanced over. Oh, Ning Qingshui, she shouted. Ye Mo, seeing as you're just an ordinary person, have your men hand over my aunt safely. If you do, I can let this matter go. Ye Mo was confused. My men? Your aunt? What are you talking about? Qingshui pointed at him. What do you want for kidnapping my aunt? His voice deepened. You mean the head of the Chu family has been kidnapped and you suspect me? Qingshui took out her phone. Playing dumb, are you? I have the surveillance video right here. I never imagined that all your crimes would be recorded so clearly. Time 1:23 a.m. Wednesday, March 25th, 2025. A face identical to Yemo's appeared in the video. He thought to himself, so they used my face to kidnap Juna. It seems they used a spiritual artifact to do it. Song Shaowen, are you trying to stir up conflict between me and Ning Qingshui? Qingshui took a fighting stance. Hand over my aunt now. If you don't, I'll let you taste the power of a cultivator, he said calmly. The time was 1:30 a.m. and I was not with your aunt. I know you won't believe me, but the people sent by Song Shaowen can testify for me. She was stunned. The people sent by Song Shaowen, they aren't your subordinates. Mo Yong stepped forward to explain. This is our chat history with young Master Song proving that young Master Ye was indeed with us last night. Young Master Song told us to invite young Master Ye over to his house for tea, and then he personally led young Master Ye away. Qingshui pressed on. Then how do you explain your face appearing on the surveillance camera? Yemo produced a video. As it happens, I also happened to record a video at another location. It was meant to collect and back up evidence. If you don't mind, you can watch it. The content is Lan Lin's confession. I usually help young Master Song check security. When he appeared at the reception today, I went to change. Then he used the ring on his hand to change his appearance and disguise himself as a subordinate. He stayed by my side until he was certain it was safe before revealing his true self. Qingshui was shocked. Song Shaowen has the ability to change his appearance. He explained he possesses a spiritual artifact that can change his appearance. She was even more astonished. A spiritual artifact. Those items, even in our prominent families, they are incredibly precious. They're one-of-a-kind items passed down through generations. And Song Shaowen, he actually has one. Yemo surmised it seems his plan was to impersonate me and then kidnap your aunt and then kill me. That way I'd take the blame for what happened to your aunt. A dead man tells no tales. Qingshui turned to run. I'm going to find Song Shaowen. I'm not letting him get away with this. He stopped her. If you go now, you'll alert the enemy. The one in danger is your aunt. She snapped. We can't just sit here and wait to die, Yemo said. Since he's come up with such a good plan, we might as well turn it against him and give him a taste of his own medicine. His voice was filled with cunning. A hand tightened around a man's neck, causing him to scream in agony. A second later, the man fell to the ground with a thud, his spiritual energy depleted. Shaowen, with an aura surrounding him, gloated, the taste of an ordinary person is truly mediocre. Suddenly, Tulin approached and said, These days, the life energy of ordinary people isn't enough to withstand the side effects of cultivating with young Master Song's method. He asked smugly, So is that thing ready yet? He recalled and recounted. Fortunately, once young Master Song absorbs the life force of that Baikao sect remnant, he can join the ranks of cultivators and freely use the phantom arts. That woman's junior brother has already been dealt with. Young Master Song can devour him at any time. Shaowen clenched his fist, his tone sinister. As soon as my cultivation enters the first level, I'll have a place in the Song family's Council of Elders. When that time comes, I'll definitely have masters. I recommend you to enter the hidden sect. Tulin raised his hand. This humble monk and my junior brother thank young Master Song in advance. Just then Tula arrived. Due to young Master Song's brilliant plan, the other side says, They captured Yemo last night. They're asking how young Master Song wants to handle him. He burst out laughing. Excellent. Tell them to bring him to Guyan Temple. Remember, don't let him die. I want him alive. I'm going to personally cut out his tongue and then hand him over to Ning Qingshui. The scene shifts to Guyan Temple. Several bodyguards are sitting around. Zhang Sheng crosses his arms and warns them, Stop messing around. Young Master Song is paying us good money to wait here. He's paying us to guard the place, not for you guys to sit around shooting the breeze. Liu Wei glanced over and snorted, treating a chicken feather like a royal decree. Suddenly he shouted excitedly, Young Master Song is here! Shaowen walked in and the bodyguards all bowed respectfully. Young Master Song, Zhang Sheng walked beside him fawning. Young Master Song, why did you come to supervise in person? Rest assured, sir, we're watching him very carefully. He ordered Zhang Sheng, You and everyone else get rid of all your communication devices, then wrap up the person inside and follow me down the mountain. The man was surprised and suspicious. Get rid of our communication devices, sir, are you? Xiao Wen glared. What now? Do I need your permission to do my work now? Zhangsheng quickly left, patting his head and denying, No, it's nothing. I'll take the guys down with me. He secretly watched him leave, thinking, how strange. Young Master Song actually called me by my name. He's never called me that before. In a flash, the car had driven away from this place. A voice on the other end ordered, You bring Ye Mo into the courtyard for young Master Song. The escort yelled, Yes, sir. That guy shoved Ye Mo, muttering, Behave yourself. A moment later, Xiao Wen clapped a few times in welcome. He stood before two monks and spoke. Mr. Ye, we meet again. He frowned and got straight to the point. Song Xiao Wen, what do you want with me? He put his hands in his pockets and sneered. What's wrong? Didn't expect this day would come, huh? Where's that confidence from the party that night, you insect? How dare you talk to Ning Qingshui right in front of me? My biggest mistake was letting that worthless piece of trash Zheng Wenchao handle this. That's what allowed you to live a little longer. Yemo wondered. Zheng Wenchao is involved with you too. What reason do you have to target me like this? Xiao Wen smirked. The reason? Let's see. It's because a piece of trash like you is actually Ning Qingshui's fiancé. This is a stain on my life. A perfect woman like Ning Qingshui was born to belong only to me. His face darkened as he demanded, You want to kill me, just for that. He unleashed his spiritual energy, refuting, No. It would be a waste to just kill you right now. A mere mortal like you has probably never witnessed anything as miraculous as this in your entire life, right? Ye Mo watched it pensively. What is this? A summoned creature. Xiao Wen created several demonic spirits and continued, that old hag Juna, although her cultivation method is crippled.
Okay, but...
Her life force energy is a rare treasure. I just need to feed it to my shadow and I will fully step into the realm of cultivation, becoming what you people would call a god. He looked confused. Then why do you want me alive? Wouldn't it be better for you to just kill me directly? He lightly stroked the ring on his hand and chuckled coldly. Ning Qingshui is probably looking everywhere for you right now, wanting to kill you. I intentionally kept the video of Juna's kidnapping. As he spoke, Xiao Wen's face gradually changed, transforming into Ye Mo's appearance. He then concluded, Which means you're the one who kidnapped Juna, and then killed her. Ye Mo calmly burst out laughing. You really did say everything. Xiao Wen changed back to his real face and exclaimed, What do you mean by that? He glanced towards a figure who was taking off their hood and asked, Did you hear that clearly? Qingshui slowly removed her hood and mask, answering, I heard everything. She frowned, her tone firm. I heard it very clearly. Xiao Wen cried out in panic. Qingshui, wait, let me explain. Your aunt is still very safe. I didn't mean any of it. I was just kidding before. I just wanted to scare her. She released her own energy, demanding, There's nothing to explain. Song Xiao Wen, hand over my aunt. Otherwise, I won't let this go with you or the Song family. He furiously roared, Ye Mo, you dare to set me up! He calmly denied it. You're the one who said it all. I didn't set you up. Ye Mo shook his head a few times. I can only say... His tone became incredibly sharp. You're too stupid. Xiao Wen couldn't take it anymore and screamed, Ye Mo! Qingshui turned to look at Ye Mo and instructed him. This matter ends here for you. You can leave now. I've already notified the Chu family. This situation is now beyond the capabilities of an ordinary person like you. Our opponent possesses cultivation techniques. You should understand that. He gritted his teeth and cursed, How dare they act so intimate with Qingshui right in front of me? Xiao Wen instantly pointed forward and ordered, Kill him for me. Tu La and Tu Lin immediately rushed forward. She quickly blocked them, standing in front of him. Don't even think about it. Seeing this, the two men immediately stopped in their tracks. He picked up his phone and threatened, Ning Qingshui, think carefully. Juna is still in my hands. If you dare to stop me, you'd better think about your aunt. A single phone call from me is all it would take to end her life. Do you want to protect Ye Mo or protect your aunt? This question threw Qingshui into utter turmoil. He cut in, Don't worry. Startled, she turned her head back and asked, What? Qingshui's eyes widened in surprise. On the screen was a person carrying Juna. Ye Mo announced, I've already rescued Juna. Xiao Wen looked at it completely shocked. How is that possible? I arranged so many skilled men. How could she have been rescued so silently? It's actually real. This bunch of idiots. Where did they all go? Flashback to 15 minutes ago. At Gaiyan Temple at the foot of the back mountain. Zhang Sheng with a group of bodyguards and Juna timidly asked, Young Master Song, our whole team is here. What should we do next? It turned out that it was Lan Lin disguised as Xiao Wen. She glanced over and instructed, "Wait, I'm going to make a phone call. You guys stay here." Then he pulled out his phone, sneakily looking behind him to make sure no one was following. Just then, Lam Lam sent a message to young Master Ye. "Young Master Ye, I've already brought the men down the mountain. We're just waiting for the person to emerge." For now, everything was going smoothly. Back in the present, Tiovan grew even more furious, cursing, "That bastard! He actually dared to betray me." Kin Tweet bit her lip, looking at Deep Mac and thinking to herself, he actually thought this far ahead. Rescuing me so easily? Is he really Deep Mac? He pointed forward, laying out the plan. "You two go kill Deep Mac. I'll stop Nin Kin Tweet." She immediately rushed forward to confront the two masters when suddenly an arm-like energy force shot towards her. Kin Tweet. A second later, they latched onto her arms and legs. Shocked, she found herself unable to move. Theovan gloated. "Just stand there and watch Deep Mac die a miserable death." Kin Tweet turned to look at the two men rushing forward and quickly yelled, "Deep Mac, run!" Tu La and Tu Lam charged ahead like a flash of lightning. He scoffed, "Nin Kin Tuet. You can't protect anything." She couldn't help but feel terrified, blaming herself. "It's all my fault. I was too careless. I shouldn't have followed him here." Deep Mac, however, stood perfectly still, letting the two men get close enough to touch him. But in a flash, he vanished. Deep Mac had one hand gripping Tula's head. "Since when?" It made the man scream, "What?" His other foot was stomping on Tulam's face. Deep Mac calmly pushed the two men to opposite sides, sending them tumbling to the ground with his cloud shadow step technique. Kin Tweet's eyes widened in disbelief. Deep Mac's strength. How can it be? They rolled several times, thrown a few meters away, and then their bodies turned into a liquid and began to melt. The golden fluid then squirmed on the ground. They coiled together like a whirlwind. Tula reformed, wondering aloud, "This is a substitution talisman. They're extremely rare for us." "How dare you?" But just then, Deep Mac, fist clenched, had already appeared right behind him. By the time Tula turned around, he was only a few centimeters away. Boom! An explosion erupted, startling even Tiovan. His speed, it's not human. He sensed the spiritual energy bursting from Deep Mac and mumbled, "Deep Mac, you're actually a..." Theovan noticed his blue pupil on one side and realized. A cultivator. Kin Tweet froze for a few seconds when she heard this. What Deep Mac is a cultivator, too. He advanced with a murderous aura. "Actually, I've been looking forward to meeting you." Deep Mac clenched his fist, letting his spiritual energy surge. He recalled his past and continued. "Throwing me in jail, sending people to deal with me, arranging for Trin Van Q to ambush me, kidnapping my friend and injuring my dog." The dejected face of Tin Van flashed in his mind. Deep Mac then stepped forward, his tone dripping with malice. "From the very beginning, you've been like a buzzing fly that won't stop. I've wanted to swat a fly like you dead for a long time." The scene descended into chaos with the defeated lying all over the ground. Tiovan radiated a dark, murderous aura and said, "So what if you're a cultivator? I originally didn't want to use this since the price is a bit high." After that, he created a variant of himself and controlled it to attack everyone. One by one, each person was submerged in the grotesque liquid. Deep Mac pondered. "It even has a teleportation function. Is this a cultivation technique developed by the people of this world?" Theovan shouted with contempt. "If these two pieces of trash are useless, then just become a part of me for the shadow art to be complete. All I need to do is devour a cultivator," he raved madly. "Now I'll devour two cultivators at once." One by one, they were reduced to dried-up husks, their souls slowly drained away. He said excitedly, "My strength has grown to the legendary first level of cultivation." He mused, so he devoured the cultivation bases of both of them. The entire space was plunged into darkness, leaving only a pair of glowing red eyes. Theovan threatened, "Deep Mac, you're next." Over on her side, Kin Tweet was drowning in guilt. "It's all my fault. I was too arrogant. I never expected Tong Theovan to be hiding his power so well. Now Deep Mac is in this situation all because of me." She screamed, "Tong Theovan, this has nothing to do with him. Let him go. Whatever is between us, let us settle it." Hearing this, he became furious, veins popping on his face. "Things have already come to this, and you're still protecting that piece of trash." Theovan unleashed a massive amount of magic. "Deep Mac," he roared with resentment. "You really deserve to die." Seeing this, Kin Tuyet screamed in fear. Deep Mac dodged it, and then the entire space was filled with terrifying clouds of smoke. Deep Mac appeared in front of her looking completely calm. His stance was incredibly firm, almost impossible to move. King Tweet saw this. She couldn't help but be shocked. She glanced at Tu Van beside her, stunned, and blurted out, When did you get over here?" Deep Mac raised his hand, unleashing a first-level cultivation technique. Then he created a powerful gust of wind and asked mockingly, "Is that supposed to be strong?" Kin Tuyet was shocked to her core. "What? This aura? It far surpasses Tong Theo Van's." And then, with a high leap, Deep Mac moved swiftly toward him. Theo Van was knocked back, coughing up blood. How is this possible? He continued to charge forward, attacking his true form. Theo Van grew even more insane, screaming, "Deep Mac, I'm going to kill you!" In contrast, Deep Mac looked completely at ease, not bothering to dodge in the slightest. He calmly executed his own technique to counterattack. His opponent still spoke with contempt. So what if a piece of trash abandoned by his family is a second-level cultivator? Before my shadow arts, your only fate is to be devoured by me. Yemo used both hands to create two shields, fighting against the purple demonic energy alone. He raised his fist. "Before absolute power, your so-called shadow arts." Then he slammed his fist down, cracking the ground, "are worthless." Suddenly, Yemo showed a mysterious smile. "Found you." Finally, he reached down and grabbed an eye. Yemo calmly remarked, "So this is your so-called shadow arts. Turns out it's just a parasitic spirit insect that feeds on a person's spirit energy." And then Yemo crushed the bizarre creature with one hand. At that, Wen Kuei immediately coughed up blood. He roared in fury, "On what grounds? You're just a piece of trash kicked out of your clan. You can't kill me. I'm from the Song family. Do you have any idea who my great-grandfather is? He's a true member of the Hidden Sect. If you kill me, you'll die for sure," he thought to himself. The Hidden Sect. So this world has cultivation sects, huh? Suddenly, Wen Kuei laughed maniacally. "Yemo, compared to my background, you're nothing." Yemo's steps carried a murderous aura. As he walked towards Wen Kuei, the other man continued his defiant taunts. "Yemo, you better think carefully. You can't bear the consequences of killing me." But before his eyes, Yemo just kept walking closer. Wen Qi backed away in fear, shouting, "Why are you still coming closer? Stop right there, Yemo. I'm not kidding. You'll really die. Spare me and I can spare your life." Finally, he started begging. "Yemo, I was wrong. Please spare me." But Yemo raised his fist, his eyes burning with fire. "Song Wenqi, farewell." At last, he brought his hand down, and the entire area was flooded with light. Qing Shui, who was nearby, quickly raised her hands to shield herself in fear. Yemo appeared like a demon within the blue light. Wen Kuei lay defeated, sprawled on the ground. Yemo spoke, "It's over. I got the information. Your aunt has been taken away." Qing Shui began to thank him. "Thank you. I always thought you were just an ordinary person. To think." She was saddened. "In the end, I was the ignorant one," he reassured her. "Even if you hadn't come to me, I would have found him. Besides, I also got what I wanted." Yemo analyzed silently. Is this the spirit energy that was in Song Wen Kuei's hand? Though crudely made, it's definitely something that only a fourth-level cultivator could create. Qing Shui wondered why. "You have such great power, yet you were struck from the Yi family records. If you had just shown your strength, you could even have been the head of the Ye family." He stated firmly, "I have nothing to do with the Ye family anymore. Besides, I'm not strong enough yet. Only by reaching the third level will I see a qualitative change." She declared, "A qualitative change at the third level, then I must also reach the third level of cultivation, no matter the cost." She told herself, "I must break free from Ning and become a true cultivator." Hearing her words, he fell silent. Finally, Ye Mo spoke. "According to our agreement, I'll help you with your condition. This is a spirit scattering pill. It can help with the rampant spirit energy inside your body." "Scatter it," she said, surprised. "Scatter it. Then won't my cultivation base be completely gone?" He explained. "The ancient technique you've been practicing is flawed. That's why you can't cultivate right now. If you continue it will only make you die faster." Qing Shui hesitated, "But if it's scattered, then won't I just be an ordinary person for the rest of my life?" Yemo said, "This is the next part of our deal. Do you want to learn it? A true method of cultivation." The sky was clear and warm sunlight bathed his house. Just as Ye Mo went to open the door, he saw Qing Shui arriving with a suitcase. She said shyly, "As we agreed." "I've brought my luggage. I'll be staying at your place for the time being." He asked curiously, Why is your face so red? Are your injuries acting up? Flustered, Qingshui pushed Ye Mo inside. Stop talking. Let's just go in. He asked, Are you planning on leaving this time? She replied, I haven't decided when I'll be going back. Ye Mo thought, the matter with Song Wen Kui is over. Now I should go to Liu Sha to find clues about the spirit spring. He then instructed her, cultivating next to the silver heart grass will benefit you. The spirit energy it emits is very gentle. It's perfect for healing your body. In the garden, a small dog was dancing lightly. Ye Mo continued, As for our deal before I leave, I will teach you a true method of cultivation. You'll be in charge of taking care of the silver heart grass and my puppy. Qingshui was surprised. It's so rare to see that kind of expression. On your face. What's its name? Hearing this, he froze. A name? She was surprised. Don't tell me it doesn't have a name yet, give it one. It needs a name to be remembered by the world. Finally, Ye Mo made a decision. Let's call it 16. Seeing its reaction, Qingshui concluded, It seems to like it. He was pleased, a flicker of emotion in his eyes. That's good. He recalled a memory from the past. Little 16 time to eat. Senior brother 16, look, this move 16 is so cool. Finally, someone emphasized the name Little 16. The scene dissolved into a hazy mist. Qingshui, drying her hair, asked, Which room am I sleeping in? Bing. He gestured, You can sleep in the living room. I've already cleaned it. She remembered. Oh, right. How are you going to deal with the Song family? Ye Mo replied, Everything has been taken care of. In their eyes, Tongwen didn't disappear at all. The scene shifts to the back mountain of the Tong family estate. Everyone has gathered and someone calls out respectfully, Young Master Wen, are you sure? The grandfather said he would come out of seclusion today. The fake Tongwen replies, That's the information I received, yes. Then a nearby door stirs, drawing everyone's attention. They all look in the same direction and exclaim, The door is opening! Someone shouts in alarm, Grandfather is coming out of seclusion. Zhaijin says it's been 5 years. For a cultivator, time truly flies in the blink of an eye. I've troubled all of you. So soon you're all here waiting for this old geezer to come out of seclusion. Tong Chi speaks up. Congratulations, great uncle, on reaching the 3rd level of cultivation. From now on, you are a legendary immortal. Your lifespan must have certainly been extended. The old man immediately bursts out laughing. This kid still knows how to talk. Jai Jun waves him over. Come here, Wen. Tongwen bows. Greetings, great-grandfather. The old man asks, I heard you were dealing with that kid from the Ye family. What happened? He trembles and says, reporting to great-grandfather, I've given up. He's just an ordinary person. There's basically no need to... At that moment, Jai Jun unleashes a murderous aura. Give up. You are a member of the Tong family, yet you dare say those 2 words. Tongwen, just because I dote on you doesn't mean I won't discard you. If you can't handle it, then your great-grandfather will solve it for you. He calls out, Hao Qiu Tian Shiping. Immediately, 2 people appear. Elder Tong, we are here. The old man instructs them, you 2 take a trip to Ninghai. Inside, Tongwen is terrified. I'm dead. Jai Jun commands in a stern voice, bring me that brat's head. Qingshui stretches and yawns. It's only 5 o'clock and you're already up cultivating. I don't even go to the spa this early. Ye Mo sips his tea and replies, According to my observations, 5 a.m. is when the spiritual energy peaks. Cultivating at this time is twice as effective. Then he gently pushes a glass forward. Drink this before you start cultivating. She obediently takes it and drinks it all. A surge of energy flows through her body, surprising Qingshui. What is this? This is a simplified spirit-gathering pill. Ye Mo explains, Your body currently needs to absorb spiritual energy gently. A full spirit-gathering pill would be too violent for you. This mixture is made from celery and cucumber along with medicinal powder. For you, it's just right. But he thinks to himself, on the Luo Yue continent, this kind of dietary therapy is usually used for newborn infants. The bodies of people in this world are just too weak. Then Ye Mo urges her, hurry and go change your clothes. Next I will teach you the true method of cultivation. Later she blushes and asks, Are we really cultivating? He explains, the closer a place is to nature, the more abundant its spiritual energy. This forest park is the best place. People nearby begin to gossip. What is that young couple doing? Is that seeded cultivation? What do you know? This is called boundless love. If a boy is willing to go through all sorts of silly things with a girl, their relationship must be really strong, Qingshui mutters in embarrassment. How does this look like a strong relationship? He reassures her. Calm down and feel the spiritual energy around you. Your previous method was to forcibly merge with spiritual energy, so besides that energy, your body also contains other violent energies. Ordinary people cannot see or use this source of natural energy. It's a form of ultimate protection for the body, and you broke that mechanism. The essence of cultivation is to extract and refine the gentlest, purest spiritual energy. It can nourish the body. The biggest difference between my method and yours lies in the extraction efficiency. Your way of utilizing spiritual energy is only about 40% effective. My method, on the other hand, utilizes 100% of the spiritual energy's power. Guiding spiritual energy into your body requires your spiritual strength. This spiritual power is located in your forehead in a place called the spiritual platform. If you try to empty your mind and feel it once you've discovered it, you can guide the energy. Yamo says each word clearly. Feel, discover, guide. She then slowly repeats, feel, empty. And then wonders to herself, empty. Why can't I feel any spiritual energy? An old man asks curiously, is there something wrong with that girl? Why is she sweating so much? Qingshui worries, I really can't feel it. Suddenly, he reaches out and touches her forehead. Startled, Qingshui's eyes fly open in shock. Yemo orders, close your eyes and feel. Borrow my spiritual energy. And make an effort to feel the spiritual power. She's so embarrassed her face turns bright red. Okay. The old folks nearby were delighted to see how affectionate they were while she sank into a dreamlike state, her consciousness beginning to drift. Qingshui wondered, so this is using spiritual power to see spiritual energy. It's so beautiful. Yemo understood this was the true form of this world's spiritual energy. It can't be seen by the naked eye. It's just so faint. A moment later, the two returned to reality. He said, all right, that's enough for today. During this stage, you need to constantly sense and then guide the spiritual energy. Only then can you enter the first level of cultivation. Finally, Yemo's voice echoed through the forest. Let's go home. Later, the scene shifts to their room. She was soaking in the bathtub. Qingshui recalled the earlier scene. She lifted her face out of the water and sighed. What a pain. The most important thing right now is to reach the first level of cultivation. Come on, you can do it. A week later, he observed Snakehead's location. This must be the place. Perhaps the time isn't right yet. Yemo stood there, his face cold and unreadable. He thought after a week, Ning Qingshui should already be able to sense spiritual energy, and the number of spirit-gathering pills I left for her should be enough to reach the first level. With that level of strength, taking care of her family won't be a problem. Yemo's sharp eyes scanned the surroundings. Just then, he saw a car. It was the car Snakehead had prepared. Yemo calmly walked over, about to get in, when someone spoke up. Looks like you're still a student. You've got some nerve coming to a dangerous place like this. Not many people today, so take any seat you like. Have a nice trip. But Yemo remained silent, his face expressionless. The car was full of people, all of them cold and indifferent. He walked to a seat, sat down, and then recognized Liu Shi. Then the car started moving finally on its way. Later, an announcement sounded. We have arrived in Ninghai City. Please exit in an orderly fashion. The people around him began to grumble. We're finally here. I'm getting too old for this. Riding in this thing is not comfortable at all. I've been sent the kid's location. Let's not waste any time. Go take care of him. It's been 35 years since I was last out. This time I need to enjoy it to the fullest.